What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Good morning to everyone out there. It's a good day today. The sun is shining. West Ham in the mud, and Spurs got off to a very, very good victory yesterday. 3-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against West Ham. And you got to say, I mean, for the most part of that game, there was really only one team in it. You got to say that. I thought Spurs, they gave a really good game from the first minute. You saw Spurs were on it. But I would say to West Ham's defence, they did look very leggy throughout that whole game yesterday, and that definitely played a factor within the game. In terms of the West Ham fans, I thought it was the quietest West Ham away end that I've ever seen come to Tottenham yesterday. I don't know what was going on with them, but it was just a good day all in all yesterday, and I had a smile on my face throughout the game. The atmosphere was absolutely incredible. But what did you make out of the game yesterday, Sim?
Yeah, it was a great day. Spent it with a lot of YouTube friends. You know, saw them a lot before the game. A lot of our, Danny Kiriakou and David Harris and Jack Konecki, all these people. It was great. And Sean Butler was his birthday weekend. So the day started off great, and then the match lived up to it, thankfully. And I think from start to finish, we were pretty much in control of the game. I felt there was maybe a 5-minute period in the second half, 5-10 minute period where West Ham, just after making a couple of changes, they seemed to up their energy a bit. It looked like they were coming into the game. But once we rode that period out, it was all Tottenham really, and they had that set piece which they scored against run of play. The only nervy points were just from the simple fact that we hadn't extended our lead beyond 2-1, and as long as the game is only at 2-1, you know, it's that West Ham are a bit like one set piece away from getting back in the game. That was what was causing a bit of nerves, and you sense the relief. It wasn't necessarily like, obviously we're happy when Son scored it just to win the game, but I think it was more just relief more than anything that we'd finally got that goal right at the end to seal the 3 points, which you could feel around the stadium, and I think we deserved it. West Ham for sure in the last 20 minutes tired. You could see that I thought they looked leggy in the first half. I was looking at the game in the first half, and I was thinking, this isn't a usual West Ham team. I mean, I thought they looked tired even in the first half. I think they got the system wrong. They played 3 at the back, and I think we know that system better than they do, and I think they just got that completely wrong. I think once they moved to 4 at the back, they looked a lot better and a bit sharper. But once we adapted to that, it was only one-way traffic really, and I think we pounded them into submission pretty much throughout the game. I think we were on it. We were sharper. We wanted it more. And yeah, I think for the last 20 minutes, their energy was gone, like completely gone. They didn't have any. They couldn't push forward. We just penned them in for the last bit of the game. And I would interesting to see what are the possession stats, because I feel like maybe we made them do a lot more running than I would have liked to yesterday. Which let me see what the possession stats were like, because usually in this kind of game, 53% possession, so we had more possession than them. So that's probably usually a situation which they would like, but when they're 2-0 down for most of the game, when they're chasing it, they're gonna have to expend a lot of energy, aren't they? And,
and that's what I said from the beginning of the game. I thought the early goal was imperative yesterday to make them do that running. That's exactly what happened. Scored 2 goals early, really, and then obviously they get a goal with the only way they know how to score a goal, from a set piece, and terrible defending once again from that set piece. But what I want to say is actually yesterday in the ground, coming into the ground, the atmosphere, not even before the game, was absolutely electrifying. And you got to say that the fans definitely played their part yesterday with cats flying everywhere within the stadium.
That was brilliant.
It was a sight to see, and I actually felt coming into the stadium a sense of togetherness and an energy which I haven't seen at Spurs for quite a while now. I felt that energy yesterday. I
felt like in Antonio's first few games, you might have felt that as well. There was a good feeling coming back at Tottenham, and then obviously, since the inconsistent form has been coming in, then there's been that's kind of gone a bit. But I think the form has turned around now. I think it's like 4 wins in the last 5 now in the Premier League. So that I think we are starting to get a bit of consistency now, especially in league form. The goals are flowing for sure. Ever since that Leeds game, what was it? We scored 4 against Leeds, 5 against Everton. We also got 2 against United. We got 2 against Brighton. We got 3 again yesterday. We also got 3 against City as well, not so long ago. So we're starting to get goals on a regular basis now. I mean, a lot of it's come through Kane and Son, but we're starting to look like a proper attacking threat, and that's really, really positive. I think the wing backs maybe not, they're contributing goals and assists, maybe not as regularly as we hope, but they're definitely being more of an option. They're definitely getting in the right positions that we need them to get in, and that's opening up spaces. And I think that it's very, very positive at the moment. And with 9 games to go, we're coming into form at the right time, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. And some performers on the pitch yesterday. I thought there were some really, really strong performers on the pitch yesterday. First one I want to talk about is Cuti Romero. I mean, what a performance from him yesterday. I mean, Antonio did not have a sniff the whole game pretty much.
Taken off after 55 minutes.
Exactly, taken off after 55 minutes, and I thought he was an absolute beast. And if you cast your mind back to the last time we played West Ham, when Romero was making one of his first games for Spurs, he was up against Antonio and had a really hard day. I mean, he did well and he stood up to Antonio that day, but Antonio did win a few of the duels with him that day. But yesterday, not one. I remember, not one. And what's really good about Romero is when he does have a lapse in concentration, or when he does make that mistake, straight away he makes up for that mistake. Straight away he's running back and winning that ball. And when the ball comes into any attacker, he steps out in front of him, wins that ball. He's got this kind of tackle where he wraps his leg around the defender as well and wins the ball. I mean, the guy is absolutely a beast, man, a beast. And who was it last night on Match of the Day was comparing him to Virgil van Dijk, Ashley Williams. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's praise of the highest order.
Yeah, I mean, Van Dijk's a bit different to him, but I think in terms of quality, or not quality, but in terms of just the profile of defender, I think what Romero is different is he's always looking to win the ball first. He's always looking to nick the ball off you. He's not waiting for you. He's coming for you. That's the difference between Romero and imagine we had Romero last season. Would have been I reckon we could have got top 4 if we had Romero last season in our back 4 in Mourinho's team, because we just had a bunch of defenders last season who were always waiting for oppositions, always reacting, always seeing what the opposition striker is going to do, and not actually being proactive. And that is the biggest thing that Romero's given to us. And not only that, when he does nick the ball, it sets us up on the attack. He gets us into the transition. He always takes the ball in his stride, I feel, when he wins the ball as well. And it gets a lot of the time it catches the opposition off guard and off balance, and it gets the ball to the forward players very, very quickly. He didn't do too much of joining the attack as we've seen recently, but he can do that as well, and that's also a massive positive. So he's getting better and better.
To do that yesterday.
He's just getting better and better, isn't he, Romero? As time goes on, and he's so composed. Without him, we just lose a massive element to our back 4. And I know Dyer again had another very good game, but he just adds something that no other defender has in our squad.
And you know what? He adds something that no one else in our squad can bring, and so does Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer also, in the middle of that back 3, adds something that no one else can bring, with that leadership skills, with the organising of the defence, with being that calming presence in the middle of that back 3. No one else can bring that in our squad. But Heung-min Son yesterday, back to one of his best performances, I believe. I mean, he was grabbing the ball, he was running at the defence, he was causing West Ham no ends of problems. It was his kind of... make himself a nuisance that caused Kurt Zouma to score that own goal. Obviously, got the other 2 as well. So, I mean, I thought Heung-min Son was really back at it yesterday.
Yeah, and, there were moments yesterday where his touch was a bit off, or he wasn't able to be as clinical as we'd hoped him to be, and things like that. But one thing, with Heung-min Son, his touch might be off sometimes, his finishing might be off sometimes, but his movement is always absolutely spot on in every single game. His movement is world class, and he always knows where to run, how to get on the blind side of the defender, how to get them on their wrong foot. And again, yesterday, he was getting in those positions, and he got his reward. His link up with Harry Kane was fantastic. I think he was getting in those central positions, which was so hard to track. His timing of his runs, especially for the first goal, absolutely impeccable. And the finish, got a bit of luck with it, with the deflection, but still was a good shot, and it was a good finish. And then obviously the second one needed composure right at the end, and a lot of people were calling for him to come off at that point. But it shows why you keep a player like Son on, because he's got a deadly finish on him if you get him in those positions. He can be the difference maker, and he has been so many times now. And that carries on. Despite people saying his performances are bad, he's got a good run of form at the moment in terms of goal scoring. I think that's 9 goals and 4 assists or something in his last
second top goal scorer in the league now as well.
Last 13 games, and only Salah has more goal contributions. He's up to 13 goals for the season. Two good finishes, one on his right, one on his left, and he's so ambidextrous. We know that about Sonny. And obviously the first goal as well, he put Zuma under pressure, forcing him to put it in his own net. So fantastic. And he's got a pretty good record against West Ham, doesn't he? I think it's 6 goals in 9 games.
They must be sick to the sight of him, seriously.
Definitely.
And another player who I really want to talk about and wax lyrical about is Rodrigo Bentancur, because I thought obviously he responded really well to that poor performance at Old Trafford with a really strong display in midweek against Brighton. And I thought, again, he was absolutely brilliant. Calming presence in the middle, strong in the challenge. His passing range was on show yesterday. He was central to a lot of things that Spurs were doing going forward. Had his hand in the first goal, I think, as well. Or was it the second goal?
The pass to Kane for the second goal was absolutely inch perfect.
The second goal. I thought, again, a display worthy of a man of the match again from Rodrigo. And I think the man of the match, you could have easily given it to 4 of either Romero, Bentancur, Son or Kane. I thought all 4 of them were absolutely sensational yesterday.
Yeah, and Højbjerg as well. I think they're developing a really great partnership.
Yeah,
a really great partnership together. They cover a lot of ground. It shows the difference when Højbjerg has a partner who's actually willing to put as much work as he does into the game. Like it's such a difference. We dominated the central area, and everyone who said this 3-4-3 can't work, we don't have the players for it, and even we've criticised this formation, but it shows with 2 real hard-working midfielders who cover a lot of ground and have a bit of quality about them as well. This absolutely can work, this formation. And yesterday, Declan Rice struggled badly. I don't even think he had a bad game necessarily. I just think he got outworked. Like I think he had too much to deal with those 2 centre mids. I think he wasn't able to show authority in the game, because Højbjerg and Bentancur were closing him down every time. They were winning the tackles. They were charging forward. Højbjerg was robbed of a brilliant assist as well after Kane blazed over that chance. It was a really brilliant dink ball in from Højbjerg, which should have given us the 3rd goal a bit earlier. Bentancur, he'd had those trademark charges up the pitch, especially in the second half where we set us up on counter-attacks, and there was that one moment as well which shows the confidence of Bentancur on the edge of the area, 2 players coming at him from behind, one from in front, one behind, and he just goes in between both of them and then plays his way out of trouble. I mean, those are moments where you're like, oh, sometimes you've got to be safety first, but he has the confidence to do it. He has the quality to do it. And if he doesn't get caught, it looks absolutely brilliant, doesn't it, from Rodrigo? And I
had my heart in my mouth at that moment, though. Right at the edge of our box, he's doing this pirouette to get past 2 West Ham players. Luckily, they both went the wrong way. But I had my heart in my mouth at that time.
He has the confidence to do it. And in his performances like yesterday, when he shows that confidence and authority, and he takes on responsibility, which I like from him, but he has to do it more often. And but I just think him and Højbjerg at the moment are playing very well together, and I'm really happy with the way they're controlling the central areas, and it's allowing us to be a lot more confident when we attack, to have the defenders, to have the wing backs flying forward, to have that front three, and then on occasion you got Bentancur and Højbjerg as well getting in there, and also Romero. So it adds a lot more confidence in our backline when you've got them 2 there. We just look so much more solid.
Completely agree. And look, it was just I felt like yesterday was a massive step in the right direction of what we want to do. Obviously, this game would have been earmarked as one of the hardest games throughout the rest of the season. Obviously, we've got West Ham, Liverpool away later on in the season. But apart from that, when you're looking at our fixtures, you're thinking that we should be able to go on a run now. We really should. And when you're looking at the top 4 race and you're looking at Arsenal, Manchester United and the fixtures they have, we've got a much more favourable set of fixtures than them, don't we?
Yeah,
into this.
definitely. I think we definitely have the more favourable set of fixtures, but we got to take advantage of that. We also do, just like Arsenal now, we only have one game a week, so we have time to prepare. We have time to concentrate on each fixture as it comes, and hopefully it'll benefit us massively. I think at the moment, as much as Arsenal are playing well and in good form, they're playing good football, but we're the ones scoring the goals at the moment. They're kind of winning by the odd goal in most of their games, yet we're kind of winning 4-0, 5-0, 2-0, 3-1. We've won 4 wins out of 5, right? And I think all of them have been by more than a goal, haven't they?
Yeah, and before those 5 games, we were like, 11 goals behind Arsenal
only
or something
2.
like that, and now we're 2. So we are closing the gap here. We really are, and I think
that goal difference with that is pretty much been wiped out.
Yeah, it's been wiped out. Yeah, it has been wiped out, and you got to look at it. And I've had texts from Arsenal fans. I'm hearing stuff from Arsenal fans saying that, after looking at the fixtures, Tottenham are favourites for top 4 now. Tottenham are favourites for top 4.
That's what they think. Well, I don't know about favourites, but definitely with the fixtures now. And I think finally we're going to start putting real pressure on Arsenal. What the big thing is, obviously Arsenal, they played first this weekend and they got the win and we responded. But next week, if we beat Newcastle by more than by 2 or more goals, we go above Arsenal. Then they got Palace away. I don't know if it's Sunday or Monday night. They got Palace away the next game, and we could be above them. So it'll be very interesting to see how they respond once they've got the pressure on them, like knowing, okay, we have to get something now because we're not in top 4 anymore. We're being overtaken. We've got Tottenham up our asses and putting real pressure on us. It's going to be very interesting to see how they react.
And if Palace put in a display like they did against Man City last week,
they're very good form.
Good chance they can get something out of that game.
They're in very good form, Arsenal. And Vieira as well is going to have the motivation, for sure. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I think top 4 is going to be a very interesting battle. I think obviously Man United as well out of the Champions League. We are above them. Same games played, only by a point, so they're definitely in there. But they also got very tough fixtures. They've got Liverpool away still to play. They've got they've also got West Ham. They've also got Arsenal away. So look, there's a lot of tough games for everyone. I think we've definitely got the easiest run in out of all the teams. But it's whether we can just keep our consistency. It's a big question. Obviously, we still got to go to Anfield, but the thing is with us is, we've played Man City recently, we've played Liverpool under Conte, and we've played very well in those games. So those games, as much as I'm not expecting to win it, they almost don't scare me as much as some other games do, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that Liverpool game definitely scares me the most out of anyone that we've got.
Of course it does.
Season.
But we've shown, unlike United and unlike Arsenal, we've shown we can go toe-to-toe with these teams.
Yeah, but with Liverpool, I know we can, but I think that, in that time of the season with 3 games left to go, I think we go to Anfield away and it's going to be a massive game for them. It's going to be so difficult, that game. It really is.
But that could play into our hands even, because we know that they have no choice but to go for the win and they're going to come right at us. And that's exactly what they did at the Lane. And if they're going to keep 2 defenders at the back, and with Kane and Son there, we know how to hurt them. Problem is we might not have the passing ability that we did in that game with Winks and Ndombele, who are very good passers. We're going to have what we probably had yesterday. But anyway, I'm just saying it's not a given we lose that game, given how we've played against big teams. That's my point. So I back us more against these big teams than Arsenal and United.
Well, it's a shame that, it's the international break now, as Conte was alluding to in his press conference, being like, starting to, suddenly we're coming on form and the international break is going to hit us. And I mean, it's so important now, this international break, that we come back with no injuries. I know Romero's gone out to Argentina, even though he wasn't called up, in hope that that one of his games suspension gets overturned, which is really annoying. So we got players flying all around the world. We
have to deal with the quarantining though and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But we just got to hope that we just come back unscathed, because any injury now on international break could really derail us.
Yeah, because we're in good form, and I think we've got a really very settled starting 11 now, and it's going to be very difficult if players start getting injured. We know the quality coming in usually isn't as good, especially if very few key players like Son or Kane, if they get injured. Kane got 3 assists yesterday. If he gets injured, we're in big trouble. So that's going to be a big. We'll have to see how we are while we're shaping up on the international break. Arsenal as well have a lot of players going away, so they've also got to be careful because they've also got quite a thin squad. But we've got to focus on ourselves, and hopefully we come away unscathed, which we've got to hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you agree with him then? It's coming at the wrong time then?
Probably, because I think we want to keep playing more games at the moment. The way we're playing, playing really, really well. We're pressing well. Even in games like United, where we lost, I thought we pressed really, really well. We had the control of the game. We're starting physically to know exactly where we're going and how to gain control of matches. And then it becomes onus on us to make sure that when we take control, we know how to deal with having control. And against United, maybe we could have done better, but the other games been pretty good.
All right.
And I'm pretty happy with that.
All right, so that is our match review. Spurs 3, West Ham 1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday, which was an absolutely lovely day all round. Had a really good day yesterday. Now it's time to move on to Antonio Conte's press conference, who was in good mood yesterday as well. So let's get into that and let's see every word he had to say on the game yesterday.
Ali, do you want to start us off?
You said the other day that you'd be crazy to drop Sonny. Was that exactly
Yeah, but it's always very difficult now when you have an important player. You know very well that during a season there are different periods, no? And sometimes you have a lot of confidence. And everything you try to do on the pitch, you are able to do. And sometimes the confidence can go down. But the important player, the top player, is good to manage this moment. And Sonny, we are talking about a really player, very, very, very good, important player, but at the same time is a good person, and he suffers, no? He suffers if the performance is not good, but especially if we don't get 2 points. I think this must be our first things, not to think to ourselves, but to think for the team. And I'm playing not so good, and this it's a pity for the team, not only for yourself. But I repeat about him, and he's an important player for us, and he showed today that he's an important player, and I have seen a lot of links between him, Harry, and Kulusevski, but also with Lucas, Steven Bergwijn, and we are working a lot under this aspect. I'm seeing a lot of improvement also about Dane Scarlett, honestly, if I have to tell you, and I'm seeing that this guy is improving a lot. He's only 17 years old, but I can tell you this is a really important prospect for Tottenham. But he has to be patient, to work behind this player, very important player, and to continue to work in this way, because about Scarlett, I can tell you that I see a brilliant future for him. Charlie?
People talk about Harry Kane and his goals, but I think he's got 51 assists now in the Premier League, and that pass, the second goal today, was just brilliant. He doesn't really get the credit for his assists, does he?
But he's brilliant in both phases, when he has to score, and also when he makes assist. And he's 2 players in one, because he can be number 10 or he can be number 9, and it doesn't change. It was a pity because today he deserved to score another goal, and he had the chances now to score goals, to improve his record, and to give us more more calm, not to finish the game before. Instead, we waited to score the third goal only 10 minutes at the end. And I think if I have to find a situation that we can improve, to try to kill the game early, also because otherwise a corner, a set pieces, and West Ham could draw a game that I think we dominated today. Honestly, we played a really good game, and as a coach, I enjoyed to watch my team to play this football today.
Tony, you spoke in the week about the importance of Hugo and Harry and Son, as well as what they're doing on the pitch, and they're all great today. How important are they in the dressing room to lead this team towards that top four push?
Yeah, but now in our dressing room there is only one target in our mind, and I wanted to happen this because it's right to, if we want to try to improve the mentality, it's right to start under pressure, and it has to be positive pressure for us. And for this reason, I wanted to make this target the race for the fourth place. We know very well the difficulty to reach this target, but it's right to start because Tottenham has to need to have the ambition to play the best competition. I know very well that in England is not easy, it's not simple, because I always say that in this moment there are 4 teams that they are very, very top, in my opinion: City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. But if one of these 4 teams has a struggle this season, it happened that Manchester United is struggling. Last season it happened that Liverpool struggled a lot, and then we have to try to stay there. We know that there is Arsenal that in this moment has taken advantage on the table, and they are showing great stability about the result. Then there is also West Ham and United, but we want to try to fight, and for sure to have this target, to have this ambition, it's important to ask to all the players, but especially the important players, because they have to take the responsibility, to transfer this message, and to trust, and to show confidence. And I think that this message has passed.
So?
You achieved a lot, obviously, in your career, but given where you've taken this team from, and all the low points as well that you've had, and the concerns you've had about the lack of quality at times, how big an achievement would it be for you to get up to this point?
Yeah, but you know very well that I like to fight. I like to fight to win, and to win in this case to win a Premier League. I like to fight to be competitive, to have the possibility to fight. Then you know very well that only one team is able to win. But I think that my past give me considered me the chance, the chance, and also I think that I deserved to have this chance to fight to win, and but for sure now I'm enjoying a lot. I'm enjoying a lot the work that I'm doing with these players, with Tottenham, because for sure I have taken in this moment a level lower, than the top team that there are in this league. But I'm enjoying a lot to see the improvement, And today, honestly, I asked to my player that I want to enjoy to see you to play football. Now I see that I'm seeing that we are a really good team. Now I'm ready. I'm ready to play every game and to play against every opponent. And I'm sure that today is very difficult to play against us.
Just one more group. Arsenal, people felt that it is still their fourth place to lose. I know you like to fight. Are you relishing now the opportunity to put pressure on
But the only way to put pressure to Arsenal is to get 3 points to win, and there are nine games to go, and for us every game has to be a final, and in this moment for sure they have a good advantage. Also, especially because they're working with the same coach for many years, and they had many transfer markets with the same coach. Maybe they are in this moment more ready than us, but I think that in 5 months we did a fantastic job with these players, and now I think that we reduced the gap against with many teams in England. One example, 2 months ago we played against Chelsea, no? And for 3 times, and we lost 3 games, but it was right to lose these 3 games because Chelsea showed to be better than us in every aspect. After 2 months now, I'd like to have another chance and to see which is our level now, and I'm sure that now our level has improved a lot, and now I'm sure that Chelsea could fight much more to win the game against us than before.
Did you see a different kind of mentality from your team in the second half? Because obviously it was a setback to concede the goal from 2-0. West Ham came on strong at the start.
Yeah, but I have seen great improvement about the mentality, but also tactically, technically, and about the mentality because we are starting to understand, to manage 95 minutes in different way. And today also when West Ham tried, and the first minutes of the second half to try to push us and to increase the intensity, and we overcome this period, and then we control the game, and this it means that we are improving also in the mentality, and to understand the importance to win the game, to manage many parts of the game, and I repeat, I'm seeing a lot of improvement, and I'm happy for my players because the staff and I, we work very hard. We try to push every day the players, because the only way to improve the team and to improve the level of every single player, and it happened in Tottenham. It happened in Tottenham because the level of every single player is improving, and this way the team is becoming a strong team.
Antonio, the international break has probably come at a bit of a bad time for you, with you getting some momentum.
Yeah.
But will you use it for you and the players who aren't on international duty to have a rest, or is there still a lot of work to do?
No, but for sure you are right, because honestly it's a pity to have this international break in this moment, because I think this moment We are in a good form, and we are in a good moment about the result, about the performance. But I know very well that there is the international break, and with the players that they have to go with the national team, we'll see them after 9 days, 10 days, okay? But with the other, and we prepared two different situation of rest, before 3 days to rest and then to work, and then other 3 days to rest and then to start to work again. But for sure we want to try to exploit this period for the people that is not going with the international with the national team, to try to continue to improve on the tactical and technical aspect.
Okay, we're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. Sorry, Jack. We've done 15 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
And that was every word Antonio Conte did say on the victory yesterday, and some interesting words, especially on Dane Scarlett.
Unprompted.
Yeah, and when you're looking at Dane Scarlett, right, he's had that high praise from Jose Mourinho when he called him a diamond and how he wanted to give him his debut. And you know how Jose Mourinho loves to exploit the loan system, didn't want to loan out Dane Scarlett. He wanted to have him close to him. Now, Antonio Conte giving him some high praise as well, saying this guy can be a really important player in the future. Talking about blowing smoke up someone's arse, eh?
Yeah, and clearly everyone believes in him, thinks he's got a lot of talent. He has, I think, for his age, I think he has shown in his little cameos quality. I think even in the European games like last season and whenever he's come on the pitch. So I'm excited by what the future holds. But you've got to remember, he's still, 17? He's still so young. So he's got so much time ahead of him. So you've got to be patient. But everyone seems certain he's going to be the next big thing at Tottenham, don't they?
Yeah.
That was quite a long one as well, wasn't it?
15 minutes, yeah.
Kind of for
Usually
a post-match
about 5
one.
minutes, especially when we lose.
For a post-match, press conference, that's usually a lot shorter.
Yeah, I was looking at Moyes' one yesterday as well. That was also around 10 minutes, a bit more.
And what he said about Chelsea, he said we played Chelsea 3 times and we lost. We lost all 3 times, but we're at a different level now. Would you like to see us take on Chelsea again, just to see?
Probably not.
you want to leave as is?
I think it would be a much better game now, but I do think that probably would end up on the wrong side. But I think it'll be much closer, much more.
You got to remember when we
tightly
played Chelsea.
game.
Those 3 times, we had no Son, we had no Kulusevski, we had no Bentancur, we had for a lot of them we had no Dyer as well. So
was Romero there for it?
I think
No, he was.
Romero had come back, I think, by then, hadn't he? But still, we had a lot of. It was a different team, wasn't
Doherty
it?
left wing back. We had.
Yeah, Doherty left wing back. Like it was a different kind of setup. So maybe.
And it's not only that the players that we're missing, but also the team are playing more as a team now. We're playing more in a line with the way Antonio wants to play. So we have got a lot stronger in the past couple of months. We really have. And that was proved with the performances we've had against, 4 wins in the last 5 games, one of them coming against Manchester City at the Etihad. Good performance against Manchester United. Obviously, we came out with a loss there, but, we're performing well at the moment, scoring a lot of goals. And, yeah, I would like to see us come up against the best now.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, he was talking about putting pressure on Arsenal, how Arsenal have more stability at the moment, but we're chasing them down. And he's right. The only way to put pressure on them is 3 points, and that's all we got to focus on. Just keep getting the wins, and hopefully Arsenal, with the fixtures they have, start to falter at some point. They off the back of 2 consecutive 8th place finishes. You got to remember, they're as much as they're on a high. If they get a result or 2 going against them, which they don't expect, maybe they're a young team. They might start the pressure might start to get to them.
He said that Arsenal are more ready-made for top 4 than Spurs are right now, with Arteta being there a number of years, him getting to grips with the squad, spending a lot of money in the summer as well, and obviously Conte only coming in halfway through the season, and only right now we're starting to see a Conte team on the pitch. Do you think that's true, or do you think that's a bit of mind games from Antonio?
I think it has to be true, because Arteta's been there since 29. He's been there for, this is his third season, isn't it? So of course they've had more time on the training pitch. But I think we've, in terms of levels to how we're playing right now to how Arsenal are playing, I think we've probably nearly caught them up in terms of how ready we are in terms of the system. I think Conte's done a great job in that aspect. So I think we've got to be proud of that. But I still think Arsenal, the way they're playing football at the moment, they're probably as a team playing better football than Tottenham. But we had the better players. I think they don't have a Kane or Son. That's the thing. So that's why when we get it right, I think we're a lot more devastating.
You talk about this top 4 race. Everyone's talking about Spurs and Arsenal at the moment. No one's talking about Man United.
Yeah.
They're only a point below us on and same games played now. Are people sleeping on Man United a little bit?
Well, the quality they have, you can't rule them out, can you? Because they've got, Sancho's coming into form. You got Ronaldo, obviously, who can any moment, like he showed against Spurs, turn it on. But I guess what people are seeing is Tottenham and Spurs just look a lot better than United at the moment.
Tottenham and Spurs, yeah, of course.
So Tottenham and Spurs and Arsenal, they are playing better football than, they look much more better teams than United at the moment. United, whenever they do win, they just about scrape through, and more often than not, they drop a lot of points. But with the quality they have, that could get them through, because they have the best squad out of all of us. That's the thing. They've got the best squad of us three. We've got the best manager, and Arsenal probably
have been together the longest.
It's going to be a very interesting battle. Obviously, United, we've got to play Arsenal at the White Hart Lane. United have to go to the Emirates to play them. So much, and obviously Arsenal have to go to the Olympic Stadium as well. West Ham. So it's all. I think West Ham still have to play United as well. So it's all like.
The thing is, that Arsenal West Ham game. If West Ham are still in Europe by then, that could be a given. Arsenal just win that.
Definitely, because I think they'll probably be all their eggs in that basket, won't they? For West Ham, but still going to Olympic Stadium is a lot harder than playing them away, I think.
I actually think when you're looking at Arsenal's fixtures, I think if Everton are still in that scrap come last game of the season, I think that game is going to be a harder game than actually them going to West Ham if they've got their mind set on Europe. I think those kind of games might be harder for Arsenal, with teams scrapping for their lives, as opposed to maybe teams where they're going to play that are might be got their focuses turned elsewhere.
Look, I'm just glad we got the job done, because it would have been very Spursy yesterday to. Would have been very Spursy yesterday to again have an opportunity to put some pressure on and drop points against a very capable West Ham team, and we got the job done. We're showing some consistency, so let's hope that that we can. I think it's going to be a great race from now to the end of the season. Us three. I think West Ham now you can kind of rule them out. I think they're 6 points behind Arsenal, and Arsenal have a game in hand. So I don't think West Ham with Europe as well. I think they're pretty much out of it. Wolves, they're out of it now. They've been out of it for a couple of weeks. So I think it is us three in the running for the top four, and it's going to be a fascinating battle.
Only 3 points below us.
I know, but they got Europe. They're going to have all their eggs in that basket, and their squad is even thinner than ours, and their squad it doesn't have the quality ours does either. So I think West Ham are out of it. As much as I think even Moyes admitted it yesterday that they're out of it. He said now's maybe the first time you could say West Ham a bit out of the top four race, even though he kind of still wants to fight for it. But yeah, I was listening to some West Ham fans yesterday. Apparently, they're not asked about the defeat. They don't really care.
I was listening to that as well. And I mean, look, I think that this is just the classic football fan stuff, isn't it? Oh, we're in Europe now. We won in the last 16. Look what a big club we are. So we don't care about our rivals anymore, even though we sing about them every single game.
Doesn't make sense to me, because if you're in amongst it in the top four, as you said, they're only 3 points below us. So obviously, why isn't this a massive game? Why isn't this a game that you're desperate to win, and that it's a big blow to lose? Even though you're still in Europe, but you're within. Do you have ambitions of being in the top four or not? Because you could go out in Europe, you can go out in the cup. I know you beat Sevilla, a good result, but you got Lyon in the next round, who are a good team, and no guarantee you beat them.
Agent Tanguy going to come to play.
You got teams like Barcelona still in it. If you come up against them, are you really going to beat Barcelona? Who knows? They battered Madrid yesterday. So you got to make sure that you're still fighting on all fronts. And just because you're still in Europe, it's a bit like Spurs. Remember we got to the Champions League final. It's a bit like, if we would have dropped out of the top four saying, "Oh, I don't really care because we're in the Champions League," he was like, "No, we still would have cared. We still need to get in that top four in case we lose." Right? And like West Ham have never been in the top four before. So that would have been a massive achievement.
And they've never been at this stage in Europe either.
I know, but they've never been, but you know, they're still like, for them, if they would have got top four, that's like the best thing that's ever happened to them. I know obviously winning Europe as well, but to say you're not asked, I'll pretty much dropping out the top four race is a bit of a weird one to me. Why aren't you? That kind of shows maybe you never thought you ever could get there.
I think them saying they're not asked is just them trying to save some face. I really believe that. I don't think they genuinely deep down believe that they're not asked, not only just to drop out of the top four race a little bit, but to lose to Tottenham as well. There's no chance that's true. No chance whatsoever.
Yeah, why? You're fighting for something big, so why would you not care about it? It's a bit weird. Anyway,
It is weird. Anyway, yeah.
let's get through some super chats.
Yeah, go on.
So we got Dark Sun G21. He says, I'm happy we won at home this time, unlike last season with the 3-3 shocker. Sun, strong as always. Kuti's a great signing with Ben and Kulu. Top four is ours. Like the confidence. And also, I think that was also a big part of the bit of anxiety there was yesterday at 2-1 with most of the second half going, because we know what happened last season, and you at the back of your mind you're like, just get that third goal because I don't want another comeback for West Ham. But
at 2-1, as the second half was wearing on, I was just fully expecting West Ham to get a
just
goal
out of
somewhere.
nothing,
out
but
of nothing.
Thankfully we got that third goal, wrapped it up. Dark Sun G says also Winks plays we draw 3-3 at home. Bentancur plays we win 3-1. Yeah, well, I think a bit of a correlation, causation there. Another one from Dark Sun G21. He says Ben and Kulu did great for their first London derby.
Yeah, completely agree with that.
Is that first
completely agree.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't mention Kulusevski. I thought he had a fantastic
He was
game
brilliant
again.
yesterday.
Another.
He's just so, like I keep saying, he just seems a step ahead of everyone. He gets the ball and he's got like that radar in his head, knowing where everyone is with his quick feet. I mean, at times when he's got that close control and the defenders come onto him, he's unplayable at times because he can go left, he can go right, he can go through you. I mean, the guy can do anything.
And again, for that move which Son hit the post, he showed his pace there, burning Cresswell for pace, and then obviously setting up the opportunity. CCV, what was it? Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Big up, CCV.
He says, do you see Daniel Levy allowing Antonio Conte to walk if Pochettino is available? How would you, as well as the fan base, react? Would it be a step back? Antonio Conte is winning in his prime. Obviously, I think Conte is a better manager than Poch. As much as I love Pochettino, I think he's a top class manager. I think he's probably arguably a world-class manager. Conte has just got won much more than him, and he's done probably more at other clubs. So having said that, I'm obviously, if Poch came back, it's like this summer, I would want to, obviously I want to keep Conte. I would love Poch back at some point. I don't know if this summer is the right time. When Poch comes back, you want it to be a good thing, right? You want it to be like a homecoming. If he comes back this summer, there's a bit of a negativity about him coming back, wouldn't there be? So we wouldn't want it to be like that.
I'm sick to death of all this talk. Oh, will Conte leave? Will Conte walk? Will Conte do this? Will Conte do that? Just enjoy the guy while he's here. We're getting to grips with stuff now. We look like we are serious in this top four race. So let's just enjoy for the rest of the season. And if Conte walks in the summer, we've only got one man to blame. And yes, I would accept Pochettino coming back if Conte does walk in the summer, if Levy doesn't give him what he wants. But right now, Conte's here. He looks like he's up for the fight. He looks like he's up for the challenge. And he looks like he wants to be here. So let's back him. Let's back the team. And let's not talk about Conte walking. It shouldn't be coming into our minds right now. We've got things to fight for this season.
Before you're going to say, get behind the team and up the Spurs.
Hand up the Spurs. It was good to see Paul Coyte back yesterday.
Very good to see Paul Coyte back yesterday. I'm glad he's back permanently now. Bob Spur with the super chat. He says, hi guys, absolutely delighted to say I'm back with my In the Wall show this Saturday at 10:30 p.m. Long time coming, only possible due to love and support from this community. Again, thank you. And I'll definitely be tuning into that. Brilliant stuff. Well, actually, Not sure we're on the stag, so we might be.
Bob,
Maybe we will. You never know.
Bob invited us to come on. Actually, he sent me a text last night asking us to come on, and I said that look, it is my stag this weekend, so we're gonna have to wait and see. So if we can, we will for sure. Me and Sim will be together, so maybe we'll pop on for 10 minutes while we can. But everyone, do go and tune in to Bob Spur this weekend. The homecoming is coming back this weekend, and I can't wait. Absolutely can't wait. So big up to you, Bob.
And last one from Essa Al-Shamari says, morning lads, yesterday's game was my first game and the atmosphere was absolutely brilliant. Loved the cat balloons. Shame I didn't meet you guys. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, it is a shame. I wonder where you were seeing, Essa, but yeah, those cat balloons were absolutely fantastic. And Zuma yesterday scored an own goal, deflection off him as well, and then Hull had booed every touch. Absolutely fantastic stuff.
The funniest thing about that whole thing was in the build-up to the game, all the Spurs fans were on social media being like, oh, we need to make it really horrible for Kurt Zuma. We need to make it a cauldron and all this kind of stuff. And the West Ham fans replying and being like, look, fans have been doing that to him ever since this stuff come out, and he's been performing probably better level than he ever has done. And then that happens
and also I think for the third goal as well, he probably made a mistake. He came flying out and Kane beat him to it. So Zuma had one of his worst games probably in recent weeks for sure. All right, that is it for the super chats. Let's now go over to Twitter, see how Twitter reacted to yesterday's victory over West Ham. All right, we've got it up now. First tweet is Rodrigo Bentancur, and there's Statman Dave with the tweet saying 103 touches, 100% tackles won, 100% long ball accuracy, 100% take-ons completed, and 95% passing accuracy. Bossed it. That is Rodrigo Bentancur. Absolutely fantastic stuff.
He really did. And also, like, in previous games where, we praise him and say he's played well, we're looking at him and like, he's still doing those kind of dawdling on the edge of our boxes or losing the ball in really bad positions, but he didn't do that yesterday, and probably for the first game, to be fair. Yeah. And it was really good to see that.
Well, I think he did it a few times. He just got away with it. Like, he had the quality to come away with the ball. Like for example, that moment, where he squeaked like on the edge of the box.
I'm talking about him actually losing the ball.
Yeah, he didn't do that.
Dangerous areas.
Yeah, he didn't do that. That's the thing. Maybe, true. Hotspur Edition says, this man showed Declan Rice levels today. Unreal player. Declan Rice definitely struggled. Bentancur was definitely brilliant. Trevor Lloyd says the Antonio chant at the end was sung by the entire stadium. If he isn't backed and leaves this summer, I don't see how Levy recovers. No matter who comes in, upgrade the fullbacks, get another centre back and CM and a striker, and we'll be set. And yesterday was another great example. Yesterday, wasn't it, about if we just had two real good wing backs who are consistent in the final third or have really good decision making in the final third or quality even. Then it's a different team, isn't it? Because how many times Reguilon's going through? Yeah. And as much as I appreciate he's getting in those positions constantly, which is a good thing because it's not easy to do that. The quality at the end of it needs improving.
He's just got no composure whatsoever in the final third at all, Reguilon. And I think that, that's where we're lacking at the moment in our good form is the fullback.
We would have scored 4 or 5 if we had wing backs who could really contribute. Yeah. Here's a lovely picture of Conte and Son from yesterday. Lovely hug there. Wholesome content for you guys. Absolutely brilliant.
Love it. When Sonny scored his first goal, putting his fingers to his lips like that, saying, maybe you shouldn't write me off and talk about me like that.
Exactly.
100% right.
Spurs fan holding up a sign saying Kurt Zuma shags cats at the back, at the corner.
I love it because I saw a tweet from Flav from the Fighting Cock, and he was like, I'm not a fan of signs at football, but I'm a fan of this. I'm a fan of this.
Brilliant. There's expressions with his cat. Just know he's getting an inflatable cat. You know that. Absolutely love that for expressions.
Someone must have been selling them outside because everyone had the same cat.
Yeah, I don't know if someone brought in a load and just handed them out or selling. I don't know. But that was brilliant. There's Emerson with a bit of shithousery. I don't know if you saw this. He was rolling around in pain and then just has a little cheeky smile and then starts rolling around again. I don't think he was hurt.
Did you see Son's one as well? I think Kurt Zuma hit the ball at him and it was like rolling along the ground, the ball, and then he just flies down to the floor.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that, to be honest. That wasn't the... Yeah, but that was brilliant as well. Felon82 says... bandwagon jumpers won't like it, but Pierre-Emile Højbjerg has been solid the last few games. He's playing really well at the moment, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah, and I think it's something that we've been speaking about ever since he's come back into the team after the Wolves game. I think he's been absolutely brilliant, and like we said before, him and Bentancur really starting to strike up a partnership, and it hasn't taken them long, has it?
No,
it hasn't.
Few games, and that's it. They look a lot better. And was Bentancur's first start with Højbjerg the City game?
Was that their first? Yeah, I think
together.
It was. Yeah,
because before then, he against Southampton, Bentancur came on, and then Wolves, Højbjerg was dropped, and then the next game was City, wasn't it? So. Yeah. Michael Hamilton says Diet Romero are getting a lot of love recently, but let's not forget about Ben Davies. He's been very solid.
Yeah, and I think Ben Davies pretty much anything that came his way, he done the job yesterday. Ben Davies.
Yeah, absolutely right. 1 sec. David Moyes says Tottenham didn't create anything, sat on the counter and let us have the ball. Looking at the stats, 53% possession, 17 shots, 4 on target, beating them on corners as well.
Who said we didn't create anything?
David Moyes claimed that West Ham looked more likely to score than Tottenham in the second half. And he said that West Ham started the better as well, but Tottenham just caught them off guard twice.
I mean, how many chances did we have yesterday that we didn't put away? We had so many. I mean, we could have scored 4 or 5 goals yesterday.
Yeah, it was a bit of an odd... I thought it was a bit salty, actually, from Moyes yesterday after the game, but... Maybe he cares more than the fans about the game. Harry Kane says, great feeling, back-to-back wins at an important time. Big push after the international break. Yeah, and it was important, obviously, to get to break that hoodoo finally of the win-loss. 2 wins in a row, finally.
First time in this year.
And what a picture that is as well. Fantastic. Look at Kulusevski. That front three, man. Strikes fear into anyone at the moment.
Yeah, and Kane laying it on for Son twice yesterday, adding to that partnership.
Exactly. Harry Brooks says, what having a player like Romero does with his decisiveness to go and win the ball with no hesitation is getting the opposition's head. They're now on the edge because they're thinking Romero is coming through me. Van Dijk, Silva, Romero, top 3 in the league. Do you think that? Van Dijk, Silva, Romero, top 3 in the league. That's Thiago Silva, I'm guessing, yeah. Diaz? Diaz got to be in there, surely.
Nah, I'm not agreeing with that, to be honest. I'm not agreeing with that. I think that Romero is a young player coming to the Premier League. He's got a big future ahead of him, and I think he's playing really well, but he's not there just yet.
Does he get into... Does he get into Liverpool's and City's team right now? The head of Matip, maybe, Van Dijk?
I mean, Matip as well has had a really good season this year. Maybe. I think that if Liverpool had Romero, I think that, he'd be one of these players like maybe a Conte level where, he'll work his way into that team and eventually end up in that team. But I don't know if he's a ready-made player to go straight into the team for Liverpool.
Is he getting ahead of Laporte?
Don't think so.
No, I don't think he gets ahead of Diaz.
No, I don't think he gets into the Man City team either, but he's a young player coming through, and I think maybe in a year or two he will be. But right now, I don't think so.
But here's Romero's game by numbers. 92% passing accuracy, 7 possession, 1. Wow, that's pretty high. 4 duels, 1, 3 tackles, 3 interceptions, 3 clearances, 3 accurate long balls, and 1 big chance created. Bossed it, and he did absolutely boss it. And they had to haul off Antonio after 55 minutes.
Antonio looked knackered yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Jonathan Field says, never seen someone so scared when they're played in when they enter the penalty area than Reguilon. Played in again, the whole ground knew he would not score, and he did it a couple times. And that's 2 against Brighton now and 2 against West Ham, where he just didn't look convincing as soon as he got into the box, did he? And it's so annoying because he's played through by Kane and all that anticipation, and as soon as he gets into the box, it's like his touch goes off and he all of a sudden loses his composure. It's really frustrating, but looks great up until he gets into the penalty area.
I'd like to see Sessegnon in those positions. I really would.
We won't see it for another 4 weeks.
I know.
But the thing is, I think Reguilon's better than Sessegnon getting to those positions.
I know, and I think that... But Sessegnon, when he does get into the final third, I just think he adds a bit more quality than Reguilon, but he just doesn't get there enough.
Yeah. Cats everywhere, says Lucky. There's another picture of the cat. Absolutely fantastic stuff yesterday. According to Scorecard, Rodrigo Bentancur won 100% of his tackles he attempted against West Ham. This is an iconic photo. Kane and Son yesterday. Absolutely, that's a great photo, isn't it? Absolutely really brilliant stuff. What a duo. What a duo.
It's actually the second time Conte's beaten West Ham, isn't it? Because we beat them in the Carabao Cup.
Beaten in the
when
Cup,
he
yeah.
first came.
Exactly. And there's Son pointing to Kane's name on the back of his shirt. Another great picture. So many iconic pictures of the duo yesterday.
And I love what Sonny was saying in the interview after the game. He was like, did you watch it?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, Kane gave me 2 or 3 assists today. I need to give him some back next week.
Yeah, true. It is usually Kane assisting Son, isn't it? Although Son has got a fair few, but it is usually that way around. Extra inches. Son goes through some rough patches where his touch is a little erratic and sometimes even his finishing too. But what you always get from him is genuine elite movement. Intelligent runs that not only open up the pitch but are findable when you have a player as good as Kane.
Completely agree.
Yeah, because you think these teams would have prepared for that partnership, but they can't stop it because Kane is that good at passing and Son's movement is that good that there's only so much you can do when Son's on a run.
And add Kulu into the mix as well.
Yeah.
Which is, it steps up an even a much bigger level. And I was reading this stat as well. I might have liked it, I'm not sure, but it was that since Kulu has joined Spurs, Kane has had 10 goal contributions, goal and assists. Son has had 7 and Kulu has had 6.
Wow. Well, there you go. They're already creating quite a good triple threat up front. Great picture of there. What a challenge from Romero on Yarmolenko. That was a brilliant challenge. So well done. I remember it very well at the game. And Romero was brilliant. This is what you said. Since Kulusevski made his debut, Son 7 goals and assists, Kulusevski 6 goals and assists, Kane 10 goals and assists. Proper front three. There you go. That's exactly what you said.
Finally, we've got a proper front three, and that's not to put Lucas Moura down, but the facts of the matter is Lucas was never pulling up the numbers on a consistent basis.
No, that's just reality. There's a picture of Zuma from yesterday. Surrounded by getting tied up by a bunch of cats. Absolutely love it. That was a great picture. Hotspur Edition says the fluidity of the front three in Kane, Son and Kulusevski is divine. You can see just from the link up, they're all on the same wavelength, and we are finally seeing the foundations being set for our side next season. Big things to come. Definitely. Squawkers say Harry Kane has provided more assists than any other Premier League player since the start of last season. He's got more assists than Trent and Bruno, and he also has 35 goals in that time.
Wow.
So he's got 19 assists since the start of last season, more than any other player.
Wow.
It's incredible, considering the creative players in the Premier League like Kevin De Bruyne and all these people. The fact that he's tops the list.
I know. I was reading that yesterday,
incredible.
and I was just like, wow. But I mean, he did get the most last season, so obviously that plays into it.
He got 3 yesterday.
Yeah.
There's Ramon Vega retweeting our video from yesterday of Spurs fans in the South Stand. Absolutely brilliant. He says, Moose, my friend, have a good listen. Don't get nightmares about it. Having a bit of banter. Good old Ramon Vega.
We need to get Ramon Vega on, man. Every time I see him on streams, he's hilarious.
Yeah,
man.
He's a funny guy, isn't he?
He's hilarious.
And it was good quality last night, wasn't it? After the game, everyone was having a great time celebrating the win against West Ham.
Yeah, and you saw all the salty West Ham fans quote retweeting it, being like,
course.
"Oh, I thought it was our cup final, not yours."
Absolutely love it. Can't get enough of it.
And what they realise is that they're all taking a picture of the programme as well in Antonio's notes, where he says every game is a cup final now. It doesn't say West Ham is a cup final now. It says every game is a cup final now because we're fighting for big things in the league. To get
They don't know what it's
4.
like to have every game be a cup final.
Exactly. You know what it's like to having Tottenham as a cup final.
Exactly. Squawker says West Ham did not have a single shot on target in the second half against Tottenham, whilst their last shot of the game came in the 61st minute. Ran out of steam. That's absolutely right. I think they did definitely get very tired. Paul COYS says, thank you so much for reception. Great day, big win, and I'm back now, up the Spurs. And it was very good to see Paul COYS.
Who was he interviewing at half-time?
Ledley King. And it was great to see him yesterday, and I'm glad he's back because he's been missed.
Yeah, definitely.
At half-time.
Definitely. And we were having a conversation, weren't we, walking towards the stadium, and we just said that as much as however good Ben Haynes is, which he is, just when you hear Coity speak at half-time, you just feel like you're at home.
Yeah, and I think we've just missed that bit of energy he had at half-time, and it was a shame when he left. I'm glad he's back in the frame now. It's good to have him back. Then there were some pictures yesterday we were taken with us. Good stuff. Good DQ THFC. Big up to you guys. FV says Romero is the best centre back in the Premier League. Man, it's insane how he does everything well, but when he occasionally makes a mistake, he makes up for it immediately.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, wasn't I, in the review? As soon as he makes a mistake, he's on his bike straight away to try and make that up. When you look back at some of Harry Winks' performances this season, when he just makes a mistake and just dawdles back or walks slowly back, you know what I mean? It's night and day, isn't it?
It makes such a difference when you don't have players who you're kind of like Winks, who just can't get near anyone, can't make tackles and stuff like that. Against Middlesbrough, he made 0 duels, and it makes such a difference when everyone's contributing.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I think that people just need to calm down a bit, because it's just like when we win, everyone's like, yeah, everyone's the best player in the world and this and that. When we lose,
it's life of social media.
Everyone's the worst player in the world. Yes, Romero's playing at a good level, but we don't have to go overboard and being like, yeah, he's the best centre-back in the league. Like, come on.
I don't know if you saw this. Antonio, I actually saw Dyer complaining about this at the time, but I didn't actually see what happened. But Antonio proper went in and elbowed him.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was awful.
I don't know how VAR didn't pick that up.
It was terrible. Absolutely, just went in and proper
leading with his
him.
arm into his face.
Yeah, full pelt as well. And I saw Dyer during the game shout at the referee saying, "He just elbowed me like that," but VAR didn't pick up. Apparently, no one saw anything. I think it was horrific.
Yeah. Can you get retrospective action on that?
Probably.
Or
probably
VAR
won't.
is retrospective action finished?
No, it's not. But they have to have missed it, and it's very unlikely that they missed it. I don't know. Maybe they did see it and didn't think anything of it. Football Joe says, name a better love story. Love it. Kane and Son, absolutely fantastic. James York says, really early days, and how can I say this about a cult hero, but definite vibes that Kulusevski might be the player we all hoped Lamela would be, but never quite was when he joined way back when.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good point, actually. But, Kulusevski has come in, completely hit the ground running. Looks like he's been here for a number of years. One of our best players now. And I'm loving every second of it. And I definitely take your point saying that, because Lamela really never reached the heights we thought he would, didn't we? I mean, we saw a few flashes of brilliance from time to time with Lamela.
We have fun ever playing cutting from the right now.
Yeah, and like,
actually look good.
Kulusevski has already pretty much done more than Lamela in Lamela's whole time here, pretty much.
Yeah, Lamela, I don't know if he ever got 2 goals and 4 assists over this sort of a period in any season, you know what I mean? Very rarely. Hamill says, big fan of Christian Romero's attitude towards strikers that drop off. What I'm going to do, mate, is I'm going to follow you into space and give you a right good kicking. And because we're so deep, I'll get away with it at least twice. False 9, more like false leg, pal. Absolutely love that. There you go. Son, 9 goals and 4 assists in his last 15 games. Even an off-colour Son posts elite numbers, says Charlie Eccleshare. And that is what Son can do. Absolutely right. And then Premier League panel says Kane's playmaking as Conte's number 9 with better attacking wing backs added in the summer on top of Son and Kulusevski. Kulusevski's runs is going to be a lethal combination.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we need better wing backs, man. Because Kane's playmaking to the wing backs is different class.
Yeah, and that's I was saying before. I think like the team are all playing at a really good level, and it's just if we had better wing backs in this squad, we'd be scoring a lot more goals and creating a lot more than we actually are, and we're creating a lot at the moment.
And big up to Emerson GBLA as well. But apparently we both met him at different times outside the ground. Big up to him. There's Romero replying to a tweet from Tottenham with just the heart emojis after that showed a tackle from him. And then there's Kulusevski saying, my team, with a white heart emoji. Fantastic stuff from Dave from Kulusevski. Lovely stuff. And finally, Cody Mack. Big up Cody. Since December 19th, Kane has 15 goals and assists. Son has 10. Top 2 in the Premier League. I've never seen a fan base fight about 2 world-class players like Spurs do over Kane and Son. A reminder, the phrase is Kane and Son, not Kane versus Son. Be grateful. You'll miss them dearly when they go.
Absolutely. 2 elite players, aren't they?
All
Absolutely,
right.
the elite.
Is there? There's. I can see some tweets. People have been tweeting us. Let me see if there's anything to mention. No, that's it for now. that'll be it for Twitter for now.
All right, so that is how Twitter reacted to the brilliant win at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, beating West Ham 3-1 and putting them back in their place yesterday. Now, I think there was a couple of super chats to get through. Do you have them there?
Should do. 1 sec. One from Hennessy.
I think that's the only one, yeah.
He says if Skip was ready to come back, let's say he needed to be played, who would you substitute for him, Højbjerg or Bentancur, or which CMs would start? I think at the moment, Bentancur and I don't think Skip comes back and goes straight into the team.
I agree.
I think you just got to play Højbjerg and Bentancur. They're playing that well at the moment.
I'd love to see a midfield three of those three, though.
Yes, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I think it would be good, but I just wonder if, what, are you taking out Kulusevski then? You know what I mean? And I wouldn't want to take him out either right now. I think our front three are looking so good. So, I don't know. I think I'd want to keep the formation for the time being. But it's definitely something that, we've played three in the middle with two up top. We know that we can play that system as well. So, I think we just got to take it game by game kind of thing and see what system's best. And Mikey, I think, is that Mikey? He says, we can't hear the YouTube stream in the rendezvous.
Yeah, it's been fixed now.
That's been fixed. All right, that's it. And Cody Mack in the comments says, Cody Mack, that guy is so wise. What a wise
He's
fella,
a
that
wise
Cody
man,
Mack.
Cody Mack.
A wise man.
Absolutely.
Wise man once said. All right, let's start getting some guests on then and see what the fans thought about yesterday.
All right, and first up, we've got Michael.
Michael,
how's it going, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I think you're frozen.
you just as soon as you came. Oh, no, you're back. You're
now,
back.
You're back.
Don't
You're
worry.
good.
Yeah. This camera just sometimes acts up, and I really can do nothing about it, and just wait until it.
Your video's a bit choppy today, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on with the connection, and you keep freezing.
Can you hear us?
But yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear us here.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, I guess it's just the video. Oh, never mind. The most important part is the voice, right?
Exactly. Yesterday's performance was pretty solid. I thought we played really, really well. Off the back of Arsenal throwing down the gauntlet with a win on Saturday, how important was it we put in that kind of performance yesterday to make sure going into the international break and beyond, we're in that top four fight?
Yeah, as I said to you guys when we spoke last, when David was in the studio, I feel like this was really a symbolic match for us, and if we lost it, the top four chances were doomed. And the fact that we didn't is really important, because first things first, the style of play of West Ham really does well against ours. Of course, they were leggy. You could see that they didn't have the energy to fight. But still, they are dangerous, and I really love that we've won that. I really love that we've won against them, especially because it's a big derby. It's an important match, and I just feel like this will send a couple of our players with really good vibes into the international break, and I just hope that they will continue the form when they come back. And I'm looking at those fixtures that are coming up soon, and it's 9 games, 27 points available. I think that if we want to fight top four, we have to get at least 21 points at least.
Yeah, but Arsenal have very, very difficult fixtures, don't they? Do you think, given the fixtures left between the two sides, does that put Tottenham in a more favourable position? Or do you think with Arsenal 3 points ahead and a game in hand, they've still got the upper hand?
I would personally say that it's around 50% Arsenal, 30% us, and 20 United. I think those would be the odds that I would give each team. Because people, I don't know why, but many people tend to write United off already, and they shouldn't. They still have a really good squad, and they are still in a good position, pretty much the same position as us, right? Just 1 point behind.
Mm-hmm.
And but United has the hardest fixtures. Then it's Arsenal, and ours. I don't I don't want to jinx it and say that ours are quite easy, but you know, majority of the teams that we will be fighting against either have nothing to play for or will be relegated by the time we play them, because like we have Norwich on the last day. I think we have Burnley like third or fourth to last game. I think we have Leicester, Villa, Newcastle, who all are safe in the middle of the table, and they can't really fight for the European spots because, like right now, West Ham is seventh with 48 points, and Leicester has 36, so there is no way they will catch up. But yeah, but I feel like we just have to take this game by game, like be consistent, be solid and grind wins. We don't have to win 3-0, 4-0, 5-0. We just have to grind wins one by one and be really solid about it.
Michael, do you think when Spurs are at their best, we're better than United and City and Arsenal?
When we are at our best,
because United and Arsenal, when they win, they maybe they can win potentially. Not maybe not United, but Arsenal especially. When they win by one goal, don't they? They usually win 1-0, 2-1, or 3-2. But Spurs recently, we've been winning 4-0, 5-0, 2-0, 3-1. We're winning a lot more by more than a goal, aren't we?
Yeah. So I think squad-wise, we aren't better than United. Just looking at the names, but I think we are a way better team than them. They relies purely on like solo brilliance, whilst we I feel like for the majority of a couple of previous games, we are solid in teamwork, and I think that's our strength. And in terms of Arsenal, I'm not really sure because they have a couple of young prospects, really like bright stars for the future, like Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and a couple of others. But with young stars comes unreliability, in my opinion. And right now they are like on a high wave and they are doing really well. But I can see them crumble. I'm not saying that they will, because like probably they won't. But of course I hope that they will. But there is always a bigger possibility than with our squad, where you have a couple of senior players, even though they haven't won anything and all that jazz that they are bottle jobs or whatever. They still have a lot of experience and they've been through stressful situations. And Arsenal will be in a stressful situation very, very soon, because there is like 10 fixtures left for them.
Mm-hmm.
And when the end of the season starts coming, and when they finally reschedule that North London derby, I think that stress will get to them, and I hope that they will crumble.
Tell me, Conte alluded to in his press conference that this international break is coming at the wrong time for Spurs as we're starting to come into form now. Do you agree with that, or do you think that maybe a little bit of rest for some of the players anyway will do the squad a bit of good now coming into the business end of the season?
I think I agree. I would prefer if we continued on with the season, because we seem to be like something clicked in our team, and we seem to be working really well, like a well-oiled machine right now. And I'm just hoping that, first of all, I'm really hoping that no one gets injured during the international break. Touch wood, right? And yeah, I'm just really worried about injuries, but I feel like that system of play that we have starts to be so ingrained into our players' brains that I feel like, I hope that when they come back, they will just slot right back in and won't have issues like playing together again. But yeah, of course, I would prefer if we played on right now.
All right, Michael. Always a pleasure speaking to you, my friend, and we'll see you next time.
Same, guys. Same.
I see you, Michael.
Okay. Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Cheers, mate. Super chat here from Dark Sun G21 saying, I know it's unlikely, but if Blues lose 3 games and we win 3 games, we could go above the Blues. This shows how close 3rd to 5th place are. Imagine coming 3rd. Oh my God. You think we can finish 3rd?
No, I don't think. I mean, we're what 7? We're 8 points behind, and they have a game in hand. So I can't see it happening. And also, the whole
They seem to be winning a lot at the moment, anyway.
As I say, the whole situation at the moment surrounding Chelsea seemed to rally them rather than do the opposite, which some people thought it would. So I think they're in the. I know they're in the Champions League, so maybe they could take their eye off the ball, but I think they're probably too good to fall that far.
And Danny Kiriakou with the super chat. Big up, Danny. And he says, what a win yesterday. Big up, boys. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up to you, Danny. Lovely sitting next to you again yesterday and seeing you in the pub as well before and after. Lovely stuff.
Let's move on to our next guest, and that is Mikey.
Hey
Hi,
guys,
Mikey. How's it
how
going,
are
mate?
you?
You all right?
Hey, Mikey.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you? Sorry, it's been a long time. I've just been really bogged down with work and other endeavors. So yeah, it's been quite busy for me, but I've still been keeping up with Tottenham. I've been watching your streams, and I'm really happy with how the game went yesterday. You know, there was the classic Tottenham thing of we go 2-0 up, and then all of a sudden it's, oh shit, West Ham have scored, what's going to happen next? But I think once we sort of came into the second half, I think West Ham looked lethargic and tired. Romero was very good at keeping sort of Mikel Antonio at bay. I had very bad memories of Mikel Antonio at the new Spurs Stadium because my very first game at the new Spurs Stadium was our very first loss. It was the 1-0 loss to West Ham, our first loss in the
So it
new
was
stadium.
your fault, Mikey.
And since then, I've always sort of associated West Ham at the new stadium with that experience, but I'm glad that it didn't go that way. I'm glad it didn't go that way yesterday. I'm glad we were able to get the win that our performance deserved. It's 2 wins in a row for the first time in God knows how long for us, because we've been up and down more than a yo-yo. So I'm just happy that even if it is just 2 wins in a row, it's still the most consistent run of form we've had for over 2 months.
Yeah, just the 2 wins. Mikey, do you think yesterday was more Spurs being good or West Ham maybe being tired? What would you? Which one has the greater effect yesterday, do you think?
In the first half, it was Spurs being good, but I think as they tired after they came out playing 120 minutes against a very resilient Sevilla side who were kings of the Europa League, must have taken and expended an awful lot of energy out of West Ham. But that was good for us because pretty much once Mikel Antonio came off, because he had been injured, he was only training for 1 day. He came back, played a full 120 minutes against Sevilla, and then had to play 60 minutes of intense Premier League football only 3 days later. So I think it was very evident that he was extremely tired. The other players looked tired, and I think the first half was definitely us being good. We were better than them. But I think the second half was just us not in cruise control, because they definitely still created opportunities, but they didn't have the cutting edge that they might have had if they'd managed to dispatch Sevilla within 90 minutes or not even had a midweek game. Because there's been a lot of, just making a point about Tottenham, there's been a lot of attention put on the fact that when Conte has a week to work with the squad, instead of having like 2 games in midweek, when Conte has a week to work with the squad, I think we've gained a lot more points when he's had like a full week of training. And from now till the end of the season, I don't think we have any more midweek games because the Premier League is happening at the weekend due to the FA Cup games and the Champions League games and the European games. So if I'm correct, unless the Arsenal game gets rescheduled for one of the midweeks, I don't think we have any midweek games left. So
we've got one against Arsenal. We'll probably have, but yeah.
Yeah. So apart from the North London derby, it's pretty set in stone that we'll have 1 game a week, and that will give us enough time to prepare, and we won't be so tired. So I'm hoping that goes in our favour as well. But just West Ham were very tired in the second half, and I think we took advantage of that. I mean, look, Kane, two defenders went for that ball from Lloris that was punted up to Kane, and Kane beat them both to the ball and just sent through Son. He had no one around him. So I think that kind of shows where their focus and attention levels are. And I think West Ham have kind of they're going to put all of their eggs in the Europa League basket. Because if I was David Moyes, I would be doing that. I'd be putting all my eggs in the Europa League basket, try and make as much headway in that competition, and maybe get a backdoor into the Champions League. Obviously, that it won't cost us fourth place like Chelsea did a few years back, but still, I think that's what West Ham will be doing. But enough about.
What's your what? How do you think the race for top four now shapes up going into the last bit of this last final stretch of the season?
I think it's very it's heating up, because I think maybe at a stretch West Ham and Wolves, they're fighting for top 7 positions rather than top 4 positions. I think it's the 3 bigger clubs of Spurs, United and Arsenal all fighting for that 4th place. But I don't see Chelsea giving up 3rd. I think they've got a lock on that. They've almost guaranteed to finish 3rd, because Man City and Liverpool are gunning for the title, and Chelsea are too far ahead of the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham and Man United to trouble that. So I think it's definitely heating up. I've looked at Arsenal's run while Michael was on, and Arsenal have they've got a series of games coming up at the end of April where they play Chelsea, Man United and West Ham in the space of 3 games. So I think
in the space of a week as well.
Yeah, they've got 20th, 23rd and then the 1st. So in the space of 10 days, they face 2 top 4 rivals and Chelsea. Well, I say top 4, like Chelsea are obviously above us. So I think that little run-in might make or break their season. And I know that the sad thing is that on one of the weekends when Arsenal play West Ham, we have to go to Anfield. So that's kind of the only game I'm looking at and thinking we can't win that, because obviously our record at Anfield has been god-awful. But I think in the run into the end of the season, Tottenham have the more favourable fixtures. I haven't looked at Man United's fixtures, but Arsenal have to play Man United. So any sort of draw there would be very good for us. And I was looking at Kulusevski's stats versus Lamela, and you made a comparison between Lamela and Kulusevski, and I looked up his stats, and even from now, there's only been 2 seasons where he's had more productive than Kulu's been in 6 games, and that was 14-15 and 15-16. So since the summer of 2016, Lamela was basically doing nothing, and since then, Kulu's done what Lamela couldn't do in 5 years in the space of 6 games or 10 games, however many he's played. So that's the quality that the little ginger man from Sweden has brought to us.
Little.
I'm very pleased, and Bentancur and Højbjerg's midfield balance looks amazing. I was watching Match of the Day 2 yesterday, and they picked it up. They were like, we always talk about Son and Kane. We're going to talk about another budding duo, and I thought they were going to say Romero and Dyer. But then they went the midfielders of Højbjerg and Bentancur, and it says they complement each other very well. Højbjerg is he's the destroyer, not the destroyer. He's the physical presence, and Bentancur looks so elegant on the ball. His passing movement and his first time balls around the corner into Kane yesterday beat the West Ham midfield of Rice and Souček 2 or 3 times. So I think the new relationships that are forming all over the pitch, it's great to see us performing in a way that's actually like consistently good. But I think there's still improvement to be done with the squad. As always, that's a give or take. But Conte can now rest assured after the international break, obviously, because we're bound to get one injury to one player. I can't think who it might be this time, but we never come out of an international break unscathed. So I'm just praying that it's not one of our extremely key players, but then we don't really have our second string can never really imitate what the first 11 do. So I'm just praying to God for once that we get through an international break without getting an injury.
Yeah, let's hope so, Mikey. Let's hope so, Mikey. But always a pleasure having you on, my friend, and we'll see you next time.
Come
Nice
on, you
Mikey.
Spurs.
Come on. That was Mikey, but let's keep going and let's go to the Jory call. Jory, how's it going, my friend?
Hey guys, it's going great.
Smiles
How
all
about you?
round today, beating West Ham yesterday 3-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I had to call in because I felt we so completely nailed it on Friday in terms of what we were expecting to see, that I had to call in, because I felt like everything that we talked about there basically was the main theme of this game.
Yeah.
I for once got the score right as well, and like I said, Sonny was gonna have the first one. I kind of expected Sonny to fix his issues this game, and boy, did he certainly do that. I mean, really, for all intents and purposes, he really had a hat trick, because he basically caused the disruption that made Zuma make his mistake there, and really, he should almost have had four. He hit the post out. So it could. So it was an amazing performance from Sonny Boy. And if you remember, guys, we talked about like the whole sitting and set pieces and all of that. That was exactly what we what kind of turned up was like they didn't sit us at us, which was kind of really weird. It was a strange kind of tactic that they took, but I guess they were going for that, getting that first goal, right? So and maybe being a little bit low on energy, this was basically the level of intensity they could muster in the first half, so because it's felt kind of not very intense, but they were coming at us, but it was very kind of a fairly open game compared to what we expected. But I just loved seeing how our Conte machine was purring in this game. It was completely working like a smooth Rolls Royce motor there. I thought, so. And like for me, the man of the match was definitely Kuti. He was amazing. He completely took Antonio and pocketed him. He had nothing to do there. And like a close second, of course, and almost shared man of the match, I would definitely say it was Sonny. Kane was amazing as well. Kane had clearly probably gotten. Now I felt like also the hug with Conte after the game. I kind of felt like Conte made it his number one project up to the game to get Sonny in the right headspace, because you saw that the shot from him, that was vintage Sonny, that was no thinking about, just blasting it past, no kind of second guessing, what to do, because he had plenty of time to do one of those, which he's had a bit of unfortunately had a bit of trouble with lately, but he just went killer instinct completely, and it was great to see, yeah.
Jory,
Here you go.
I want to get your opinions on the new partnership following on the pitch in Bentancur and Højbjerg in the middle of the park. I mean, how much of a difference do these two, because they really do complement each other, with Højbjerg, both of them really with their tenacity in the middle of the park, the way they move the ball as well. How much of a difference are these two making for us at the moment?
To complete, it's amazing to see, and Bentancur was amazing as well. I would put him at a kind of third man of the match if I could, and the thing about Bentancur, and like we've heard it. Maybe I don't remember Pot saying it, but certainly like I know Mourinho said it so many times. We need our players to be brave. Now we've gotten two additions, and they're both really, really brave players. Bentancur is a very brave player. Kuti is a very brave player. I mean, Kuti is almost psychopathic, you know, in his braveness, you know. But Kulusevski also has that kind of braveness, you know, and that's the difference, you know. That's really, even if of course there's a lot of ball quality that's the difference as well, but that factor alone is the difference between it changes the whole way the team can play, and especially the front three, you know, knowing that they have these players that go all in, you know, behind them, you know, is a big thing, you know. So Aisha.
It's all right.
Yeah. So So I would say Bentancur is a very slight second to the absolute revelation that Kulusevski is turning out to be, right? So but like that midfield, exactly. Højbjerg now has a peer there, you know. Winks is never going to be Højbjerg's peer. Winks is never going to be fighting and showing the bravery. Like that's really, I would say, I can slack Winks up for hours if I need to, but really his number one fault is his lack of bravery. He's a scared little boy, Winks, you know, and that's what lets him down much more than his ability. Really, his technical abilities is not really, you know, he can work with that. You know, anybody can work with it. Like Højbjerg is not the most technical player at all, but because he's got so much heart and does the right thing when he needs to, you know, then you get something amazing out of it. But yeah, I mean, like you mentioned it already, Ben. You know, when Bentancur took that double trick to get out of two players on the edge of the box, you know, my heart sank as well, you know. But that's the kind of players we have, and I would say I prefer that these players, also Kuti with his yellow cards and all of that. I want that. I will forgive the odd, you know, mistake, the odd given goal because of something like that, because what it gives us the rest of the time going forward in general as a squad is such a high upgrade from what we've been used to, you know. So yeah, I was amazed by Bentancur once again, you know. So
Jory,
Kula was a little sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just gonna say Kula was a little bit quiet in that game, but that being said, it's maybe also, and maybe we'll see more of this now, is that the league has, oh shit, Kula, we really need to think about him as well, not only Son and Kane, you know. So he got a little bit more attention than he's been given, I felt, from the West Ham defense. They weren't frivolous about him, which maybe other defenses have been, you know. Well, you know, when you have Kane and Son bearing down on you, it's understandable that you give Kulu a low priority there, you know. But that's not a good idea either, you know, because Kulu is definitely in the mix with those two guys, you know. So
yeah, he's playing very well. I was going to say, you know, in terms of the top four race now, we got obviously we got 3 points behind Arsenal. The fixture list probably looking favourable in Tottenham's favour. Do you think it's fair to say that when obviously Spurs, United, and Arsenal now looks like it's a three horse race for that final spot? Do you think it's fair to say that when each team is at their best, that Tottenham might have a case for saying we are the best when each team's at their best, but maybe we just lack the consistency?
For sure. And like I said, we talked about it on Friday. It's like that's probably what I'm most happy about now. I really feel like we got over the threshold in this game, you know. I hope I'm right here, because I saw Kane. He was that serious. I love his new haircut. I almost take that haircut as a statement, you know, that he's, you know, it's much more of a.
You've been learning off David Harris, Jory, I see.
Say what, Ben?
I said you've been learning off David Harris, trying to read Harry Kane's haircuts.
Exactly. Well, yeah, this one at least I noticed. I thought this is more the hair you would wear if you're going to war than his big sweepy hairdo that he's had so far. But I felt like Kane really went in there and did what he had to do in this game, which was to service Son, and he did it without, like, there wasn't, like, they were completely squared off with how it was supposed to do, no misunderstandings and stuff like that. And also, like, we talked about or I talked about how nervous I was about the crosses, and we saw Conte make he made a formation there that stops the crosses. I don't know if you noticed this, but he had this triangle on the flanks rotating constantly, so they never got this time or space to cross the ball. There was all, like, they had like this on both flanks, but of course most of the action was on Antonio's flanks. But like, so it was kind of a slightly advanced from the back line, and they kept like rotating on each other, falling back, and it worked really, really well. So I really feel like if that we have kind of a tactical answer for that weakness now. Of course, we conceded exactly like I also called it. I said we would concede one goal on a set piece, and that's what happened. Of course, when you're dealing with corners and stuff like that, then there's little we can do, really, But with the flowing play, if we can stop these crosses into a box with this kind of a formation, then I'm really, really like that. That's a huge hole that we've managed to plug there, So I feel like this was a big, big game, and I would be surprised now if we don't go on a run now, to be honest, And like, to answer your question, Sim, we are much the better team. We have two I would say we have the two best players of all of the teams are in our team. But as if you talk about team, that's maybe the important thing. When this first choice 11 are playing, team performance wise, there's nobody close to us. Arsenal is the second, but I would say they're not even close when we're performing like this. Uh, Arsenal are playing very much like a team. United, not so much. West Ham, sure, but they're just a much less of a team than we are when we're kicking on like this, So I would say, now. So now, if you make the calculation, the rest of the fixtures, and these two squads, it's the Arsenal squad against our squad. It's Arteta versus Conte. I mean, I'm sorry, they need more than 3 points difference to keep us away. I think now, really, I don't want to agree ever with Arsenal fans, but I kind of agree we should be the favorites now. But we're so marked by this long period of inconsistency that we've just been through, that it's difficult to say that. But I actually feel like I hoped and predicted that we would get over that hurdle now in this game, and everything I saw in the game told me we got over it. Like, we really got through there, So hopefully, yeah, that's at least my prediction as it stands now, is that we're gonna go on a run now, and yeah, it's gonna be very difficult for anybody to stop us from that fourth spot now, to be honest.
Love that
right.
confidence.
Come on, Jory.
Absolutely love that confidence. Laying down the gauntlet to the other fans. That's what I like to see. Jory,
For sure.
always a pleasure,
and
my friend.
also, just to finish also on another note, like the way the Conte's manner. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but seeing Conte smile in these press conferences and laughing and stuff, like, you feel like a giggly little schoolgirl in love when you're watching them, and he is like, what he said in that press conference confirmed it for me. Conte said, "We have arrived."
Yeah.
He said basically the Conte team has arrived.
Yeah.
If Conte says that, fuck, watch out, league. Next season's gonna be something. We're gonna get there, I'm sure. If Conte says we've arrived, we're gonna get there, I'm sure.
All right, Jory. Absolutely
Damn
love
right.
it. Thanks
Damn
for coming
right.
on today, my friend, and we'll speak to you soon.
Nice one, Jory.
Thanks for having me. Take care, guys.
Speak to
See
you
you,
soon.
man.
Bye.
Love those positive words from Jory today.
Always good to
Love
get
it.
Oracle on. Victor Mathiasen says in a super chat, the thing that amazed me the most was the movement and passing in defence. We always had an option for a pass, and we had the bravery to make them. And that's always something that we've lacked, especially for a lot of the season. Lack of composure, lack of ability to play our way out of trouble. Always panicking, usually losing the ball.
Yeah.
And definitely of late, that's improved massively.
Definitely, and when you've got players in the team like Kulusevski, I know he's a bit further up the pitch, but Bentancur and Romero further down, I mean, those are the players that have made the difference. They've come in, they're the new players, they're so good on the ball, they're calming presence, but again, on the other side, they're really aggressive players as well. And when you're looking at the summer, and when you're looking at like players that we need to bring in, that's the kind of level that we need to be bringing in the summer. We need 5 or 6 of those kind of players, that kind of level, and then we can really start to look forward, to be honest.
Definitely. All right.
No more super chats. All right.
No,
Let's bring on our next guest. Had a beer with him before the game yesterday, Mr. Brad Matthews. Brad, how's it going, mate?
How you doing?
It's good to see you yesterday.
Hey, Brad.
You too, guys. You too. I'm doing well. It looked cold in Iceland, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of snow everywhere, as it is in Toronto, apparently, with Brian Daigle. But in England, the sun is shining, the weather is sweet. Tottenham with a 3-1 win yesterday. Just sum up that game for me. What were your thoughts on the game yesterday?
Well, I think in hindsight, I think we won it pretty comfortably. I thought certainly the first 35 minutes, I actually thought we were going to win 3 or 4-0.
Yeah.
I thought we played really, really well in that first opening 35 minutes. But then, as normal, we gave away a mistake with the corner, and then we're still problems defending set pieces. And suddenly West Ham are back in the game. But when you actually look at it, and I'm always, I'm always worried during the game anyway. But when you look back at it, they didn't really create much. I think Antonio had that one shot that went over the bar, but I don't think Lloris had a save to make. And when you compare that to the chances that we had, I thought it would have been a travesty if we hadn't got a win out of that. And I think 3-1, we probably could have won 4 or 5-1. And what David Moyes, I don't know what drugs David Moyes was on when the comments he made after the game. It's unbelievable, So, no, I thought, it's when you're watching the game, Spurs fans, when you're watching the game, your heart's in your mouth. You always fear the worst sometimes. But I think looking back on it in hindsight, I thought it was a very, very comfortable win and good that we've actually won a proper big game for a change. So now we have to. You look at Manchester United; they beat us twice. That's 6 points. That could be vital at the end of the season. With West Ham, we've won the game now, so Tottenham and West Ham are level because they beat us in the first game. So it'd be very interesting. I'm sort of feeling a lot better now about this Tottenham team.
Yeah. Do you think yesterday, did we catch West Ham on a good day? After playing 120 minutes on Thursday, or do you feel like with the performance we put in, it wouldn't have mattered too much?
I think that you can't write that off. I mean, you can't sort of say, didn't matter. I mean, it probably did matter, but I think we would have won anyway. I think we're playing some good football. I thought we actually played pretty good football against Manchester United, and just sort of one player on his day sort of stopped us from at least getting a point in that game. We're starting to play like a team now, and I think we'd have upped the ante yesterday and still got the win. But you can't deny that there might have been that might have crept into their game, especially near the end if they're chasing the game. But no, I think, and the other thing is I don't really care. I don't care if they played on the Saturday. We've had to do that this season. So why should I care about West Ham having to play 120 minutes of football?
Damn right.
There's been a lot said about a lot of big Spurs performers yesterday on the pitch yesterday. I mean, there's been a case for a number of players to get the man of the match yesterday, but who really stood out for you?
Oh, I think you can't look past Bentancur and Romero. I thought they were outstanding. I mean, Bentancur was everywhere yesterday.
Yeah.
Absolutely everywhere. Yeah, like Jory, my heart was in my mouth when he did that little bit of magic at the edge of our penalty area. I think it might have been 2-1 at that stage. So, yeah, that could have ended in disaster. But, no, he was just everywhere. And Romero didn't get booked, which was really, really good. No, I think they're excellent. And the front three, we had a front two. Nothing against Mora, but we've got a proper front three. I wish Kulusevski would use his right foot a bit more. But then again, I used to say that about Gareth Bale. So, it's one of my
Let's hope it turns out the same way, Brian.
Yeah, but I thought they played. Yeah, I thought they were the outstanding players. But again, it's very difficult to find one player that was man of the match. Oh, Sonny. There you go. I'm forgetting players. Sonny with 3 goals, 2 goals and the own goal. And that first goal, he took that so well. He just buried that. And when Son's through on, you want Son or Kane to be through on goal if you want to put your life on it. And he just took it so well, and that's really, really good to see.
Yeah, now we are going into the international break with 3 points behind Arsenal, who are obviously I think they have 5 wins on the trot, 5 away wins on the trot in good form. We're a point above Man United with same games played, but they're not looking like the most cohesive unit at the moment. What's your take on how the top 4 race is shaping up now?
I would say it's doable, but I still think that we have to prove it with consistency. It's taken us until now to win 2 games in a row. We've got Newcastle at home, and I think Villa away. I think they're our next 2 games.
Yeah.
If we can win those 2, and to be fair, I thought Villa away would have been difficult, but after seeing them play against Arsenal on Saturday, I'm not so sure now. So if we can beat Newcastle and then beat Villa, then we're in with a good chance. But again, it's a consistency thing. We've done it all season. We've got to believe that we're going to, been inconsistent all season. We've got to believe that we can get over that now and actually put a consistent run, and then hope that Arsenal and Man United, when they play each other, that they drop points. But I was disappointed with Villa on Saturday because I thought they might have taken a point against Arsenal.
They were poor, weren't they?
The one other thing I will say is that we have to win the North London derby. If we don't win that, I think that's it. Top 4's out of the question. I still think that on form, because we've been on form for 2 games now, but on form, Arsenal might be in a favourite, I would say, because they are. I hate to say this, but in the first half against Villa, they did play pretty well. But then when Villa put a little bit on them on the second half, the passes started to go astray. So hopefully if some other teams, I think Michael was saying it earlier, have got relegation struggles and that sort of thing. Teams like Everton and that might put more of a fight when they play them. So that could be crucial as well. But we're in there. Liverpool away worries me. It's a game that, if you're looking at especially when they're looking for the title, your head would have to say that, write that one off. But hey, we was going to write off the Man City away game and look what happened there. So, and I think if we get a point against Liverpool, that's probably the first time in 5 or 6 years that they haven't beaten us. So
probably since the time when Wanyama scored that goal, when Kane scored in the last.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the last time we took a point at Anfield, wasn't it?
We actually usually play well at Anfield. We just never get anything.
Yeah. And they might fluff their lines if they're going for the title. They might fluff their lines on that day, and we might get a bit of luck. We might get decision go our way, that sort of thing. All these things come into account. They really do. But yeah, who knows? But I think if you have to look at it from a neutral point of view, not following any one of the teams, well, then you probably have to say Spurs are in a good position if you look at the run of games coming up. And if we're going into this consistency and starting to get ahead of steam, and I must admit, we are playing as a team a lot better now. I'm quite impressed with what I've seen over the last 3 games. Then again, we've got to avoid injuries.
Yeah. But as do the other clubs as well, because Arsenal are in a similar situation to us with the kind of, not much outside their first 11. So I think other teams are in the same boat. It's not just Spurs.
Yeah, you're right. That's true. Yeah, you're right, and that's why it's on the knife edge. Any of these factors could come in, and I just wish some of the Arsenal fans, when they're 6 or 7 points ahead of us, I wish some of the Arsenal fans had started tweeting. Well, maybe they did. Started tweeting "mind the gap." Because that'd be lovely if we did that on them, like they did to us. So it'd actually be brilliant. I'd love that.
All right, Brad, always great to speak to you, my friend. Good to see you yesterday.
And
hopefully have a beer another time soon as well.
Definitely.
100%.
Good to see you, Brad.
Speak
Take
to you
care,
soon,
guys.
buddy.
Have a great day.
And to you.
Bye.
And I was just looking at it, right? Brad just made me think about our fixtures, right? In April, we've got 5 fixtures, right? In April. Newcastle at home, Aston Villa away, Brighton at home, Brentford away, and Leicester at home. Each one of those 5 teams got nothing to play for anymore.
All mid-table at the moment, although Newcastle on an upturn at the moment. But yeah,
I get that, but I mean, when you're looking at teams to play at this stage of the season, those are the that's the area where you want to play.
Because they don't have the put in that extra bit
motivation.
of exactly. Sometimes, as I said, sometimes when you play these teams, the shackles are off in a way. So sometimes they can get even more attacking football. So sometimes they open up a bit, but they don't. A lot of the times they don't put that extra bit of motivation you need to really make sure you get 3 points. It can always if you physically dominate them. Sometimes they're just not up for the fight, and maybe that could be perfect for us at this stage of the season as well. Yeah, those 5 games are all extremely winnable. We just got to make sure we have the consistency. And as I've said, I actually think, look, what we're showing at the moment when we beat City away, the fact that we're swatting away teams 4-5-0, winning by 2 or more goals. United and Arsenal aren't really doing that. But what Arsenal are doing is just showing a bit more consistency with their wins and performances, and maybe in their defensive structure as well. They're not conceding many goals, but they're winning by the odd goal. Whereas Tottenham, when we are winning, we do tend to, at the moment, are winning by 2 or 3. And that maybe right now could stand us in very good stead going to the last part.
And before we go on our next guest, we've got a tweet here from Fabrizio Romano as of 12 minutes ago. And he says, Paulo Dybala will leave Juventus as a free agent this summer. There was a full verbal agreement last October. Then Juve decided to change their proposal. Paulo not happy with the current conditions, new conditions, and he will now open talks with other clubs. What do you reckon about that? You reckon he could be coming to Spurs?
Probably not, but it's nice to dream. You never know. If we
with the Italian, with Conte here and with Paratici here and stuff like that.
I mean, I'd love him to come, and he would be a great addition to the front line. I would still say still unlikely, but
he'll probably end up at Barca, won't he?
Inter Milan. Some people are saying I'm sure he's gonna. I don't know if maybe he wants to come to the Premier League. If he does, we're going to be one of the best options. But I just got a feeling. It kind of does make sense with Paratici here and everything, and Conte might be able to get the best out of him, but I don't know. I just feel like he's going to want a huge signing on fee. He's going to want big wages. He's 28, 29. He'll probably go somewhere else, but maybe he would consider coming here. I mean, if we get Champions League, definitely win with a much better shout.
All right, let's move on to something inside so strong.
Oh no!
Let's bring him
on. I know that I could make it.
When I'm doing it wrong, so wrong.
Lovely. I think you sing better than the real Barry.
I just want to feel this tired after the next 9 games because I'm absolutely exhausted after yesterday. It was
a good day.
Mentally and physically exhausting. My voice is gone, but I want to feel like this for the next 9 games. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, what were you really most pleased about with the performance yesterday?
That we got the 3 points. Me and Danny Kiriakou predicted the right result. And it was just, I think there was that time we were all sat there in that second half and we were thinking they're going to score. West Ham are going to equalise. When they had that corner in the 85th minute, that was it. And we were just thinking, no, please, please, please don't. And it never really came. I think we were nervous, but we weren't being put under the pressure that we thought we're going to crumble. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it was a great, from 1 to 11. Bar bar Reggie not scoring one of the two chances, I think, as a team, they put in the performance. The stadium was rocking, like you asked for, Ben. You called for it, Ben, and the stadium delivered.
I ain't going to take the credit on that. Antonio Conte gets full credit on that one.
Yeah, and the stadium was rocking, and if we can have it rocking like that for the rest of the season, then it was probably the loudest I've ever heard it, if I'm honest, in the new stadium.
Yeah,
so,
I would say it's probably the loudest
fantastic.
since those Champions League nights there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What Champions League nights? Maybe we'll have them back next year. Who knows?
Yeah, you got to hope so. Look, we've put ourselves now in a position to fight for it, haven't we, Barry? And how do you rate our chances now with the position we're in?
I'm just taking it one game at a time. I said last night, I think last week, we take it one game at a time. We've got a break now. There's 5 absolutely winnable games before Liverpool, right? And like you just said, Ben, they're not really fighting for anything. I think all those teams are going to be in it. They're going to be. Brentford is certainly going to be safe, I think, with what's happened with Leeds and everything else in their last 2 games that they've won. So, yeah, they are games that we need to focus on. We need to get everyone fit back from international duty. But look, let's believe things can happen. Let's believe, I'm not going to say it about Kane and his ankle, but we're nearly at the end of the season. Hopefully, there's going to be no issues on international duties, and everyone's going to come back fighting fit, and then we go against Newcastle at home. I just think we just need to do it like Conte's been saying, one game at a time. Every game's a cup final. I know we're not very good at cup finals, but let's use yesterday's motivation to keep the momentum going and we've got to put a run together, and we haven't since the start of when Antonio Conte came in. So it's perfect timing, really, if we can put a run in now between now and the end of the season.
Well, we have won 4 of our last 5 league games, haven't we? So maybe are we at that start of that run now, do you think?
And we also won in a cup final in West Ham's cup final yesterday. So, we're not doing too bad in cup finals.
Yes, they got battered. So, that was, look, I think it is the start of it. Maybe has it come at the wrong time, the right time? I think, they need some of the players need a bit of a rest. I think Sonny was, physically looked exhausted yesterday. Kind of that 65 to 75, 80 minutes, he was kind of, blowing on fumes, but, came good and got that third goal that we needed to kill the game off. So you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, I'm just quietly one game at a time. If we get through those 5 games and we've won at least 4 of them, then, absolutely there's going to be, it's going to start building. The momentum will be there, and who knows what can happen. Sport is a funny thing.
Do you see Arsenal crumbling under the pressure, or dropping points when push comes to shove?
They've got that week where they've got 3 games that Arteta was crying about, and and Antonio came out and basically told him to stop moaning because you brought it on yourself. So that week is going to be critical. But look, all we need to do is just keep on winning, and we will then put the pressure on. I think Vieira will do Arsenal a favour and just kind of step aside and do them a favour. But you never know. Arsenal always have that habit of losing to teams they should have beaten. I just think there's something's going to happen. There's twists and turns. That's why I'm saying one game at a time, because you can see, look what happened a few weeks ago. The results went for us and we didn't take advantage. Then the results didn't go for us, and then we kind of slowly dragging ourselves back into it. So, yeah, we'll just have to see.
All right, Barry, always a pleasure, my friend. It was good to see you yesterday as well, as always. And we'll see you soon.
Fun on your stag with Ben if I don't speak to you before. And Sim, do your worst with him, please.
You bet, my friend. Nice one, Barry.
See you later, Barry.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, the Spurs. Do we have any more guests? How many have we got left? All right, let's bring Josh on.
Where is he? Is he there? All right,
Just bear with us, guys. We're just
there's a super chat here from Faz Radfaz. There's Romero, Bentancur, Kulusevski are best signings for years. Don P.
I completely agree.
Yeah, put more respect on his name.
I mean, when you're first of all, last night when David Harris got back, I was sitting down with him watching Match of the Day, and he looks over to me and he goes, "Finally, everyone can start calling Paratici the Don."
Finally, he's earned it. And another super chat here from Sean Butler. Love it. He says, great to see you guys yesterday. Would love to come on and say hi, but hangover that kicked in early. Rumbles on. Great game, great day, great community. Top 4 is on. Come on, you Spurs. Great to see you yesterday, Sean. He definitely had a few. That's for sure.
I mean, he had a great birthday yesterday, Sean. So happy birthday to Sean for the weekend.
But gets hammered. There he goes. Absolutely love it.
I loved. He was on absolute top form yesterday. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure to sit with him at the game yesterday. It really was. But let's move and let's get Josh on, who did a really good job on the watch along yesterday, filling in for Brains McLeod. And it was great to see him in full voice on the watch alongs. Let's bring him on. Josh, how's it going, man?
Wicked, mate. Wicked, mate. I've been teleported back home, man. I wish I was there with you.
Yeah, it was great. It was great you were sitting in a sim seat yesterday and you did a great job there. So well done, man. It was great to have you on.
No worries, man. Cheers, man. Cheers, man, having me on. And anytime you need another a win, then you know the winning combo now. It's Henry and Josh. And I believe Henry's got a winning he's on a winning run, isn't he? I don't think he's lost in the studio yet. Yeah.
He's on a winning run. Did you bring in the samosas yesterday? That's the main question.
I didn't bring in the samosas. I bought in a can of Coke. I bought in some crisps. Lots of healthy stuff, man. But I didn't bring in the samosas, man. But
you should have been in the car with us to Brighton. We had samosas after the game. We had 3 points. So we had some samosas in the bag, ready.
Yeah,
ready and waiting.
Do you know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until we qualify for top 4, lads. And then it's gonna be samosas all round, man. It's gonna be samosa party, man. But once we qualify, that's it. It's non-stop samosas everywhere, man. All summer.
How happy?
Summer of samosas. I love that.
Yeah, it's going to be
summer of samosas, man.
So yesterday's performance, obviously, you've had a bit of time to sleep on it. What are your thoughts on yesterday overall?
Yeah, we played well. We played well. I mean, the thing is, like, what's annoying me this morning is West Ham fans coming out saying, acting like they're Man City, saying, "Oh yeah, we've got these big fish to fry," and we didn't really care. Mate, it's winding me up because the thing is, and I know a few West Ham fans. It's all bants at the end of the day. Obviously, you don't get personal with it. But if we're being honest, they had an opportunity to end our top 4 campaign yesterday. Yeah. If you think about it, they beat us, and we're sitting here crying. We're sitting here thinking, shit, how do we do this international break? All right, maybe not end the campaign, but bring it close to an end. And the way they're going on, it's not important to beat Spurs away. It's not, the top 4 is not important in terms of the league position. Who the hell do they think they are? Mate, they're in a competition where they think they're just going to go and batter Lyon, beat Barcelona, beat whoever's in the final. Mate, I don't know if there's any West Ham fans in the chat, but there was a couple yesterday. But guys, wake up, man. Wake the hell up. You're a small club with a shit squad. Yes, you've been doing right the last couple of years. Yes, there's a few players in your team that I wouldn't mind at Spurs. Maybe as even squad players, 1 or 2 probably would make our first team. But there's levels, and yesterday we just showed them that this Spurs. Is that a West Ham fan?
Where?
Oh, I heard someone in the background. Oh no, it's the other guy on. Yeah, I thought someone said.
Don't worry about it.
I thought someone said something. I was like, where's that? I'm looking for West Ham fans. I'm like, where? I want to find them.
They're in your head, Josh.
Anything I hear, man, I got my little finger on it. If anything I hear, I'm like on it. But mate, listen, they bottled it. They completely bottled it. If you've got a chance to stop your biggest rival, and we are their biggest rival, away in front of 50k, 60k, and to basically put a nail in Harry Kane's coffin, in Conte's coffin, and everyone's coughing, and then go on a 2-week holiday, you flipping turn up. There's no question about it. It's not like they're playing on Wednesday. They're not playing on Wednesday, are they? They're not playing for 2 weeks, man. So all this bullshit about bigger fish is just not. Everyone find a West Ham fan today and remind them they're bottle jobs. They're bottle jobs.
Absolutely.
Yes, we've bottled it in the past. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting acting like, you know, we haven't bottled it, but they bottled it yesterday, man. They bottled it. So I just want to make that clear, because there's so many West Ham fans giving it everywhere. You know, all this. We're on some, you know, Champions League run. No, you're not in the Europa League, mate. We've been there. We've been there how many times, man? It's your first flipping time or second time or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to get out of the system, man, because it's just pissing me off, man, with the amount of West Ham fans giving it.
Let me ask you. Yeah, they did. No, I agree with you. But let me ask you this: in terms of the performance yesterday, was Spurs that good yesterday? Was it such a good performance for Spurs, or do you think that like maybe the tiredness from West Ham did play a factor yesterday?
Look, it definitely played a factor. We've been there on a Thursday night, and we've had to turn up on a Sunday in a top four, you know, game and beat a London rival. We've done it, and sometimes we've not done it. So obviously, it's going to have an effect on you. But there's certain games you just get up for. The North London derby is one of them. You just get up for it, you know, and form goes out the window.
Adrenaline should play you through, right?
Adrenaline replaces. You got 2 weeks off, so I don't buy the excuse too much of tiredness, because, you know, they are professional. You know, we played just 24 hours before them, so I don't know, you know, like 24 hours. Yeah, okay, 24 hours, but they were home. They didn't travel. We played 24 hours before them. And, you know, they talk about the extra time and that. But, mate, I don't think a lot of people are talking about how West Ham were leggy, and they were leggy. But I don't think that's necessarily just tiredness. I just think they bottled it against a very up for it Tottenham. We were up for it, man. And they knew they were in a game within that first 10, 15 minutes. And they had a decision to make. Do we now, you know, stop crying, stop moaning, and stop complaining? We've got, 75 minutes to turn this 2-0 around. Or do we just, you know, bottle it? And they gave it a little bit in the second half. A little bit they gave it in the second half, like for 10, 15 minutes. But mate, we were too good for them. And I was on the watch along yesterday. I was probably being a little bit more practical in my views. But having watched it back, we could, that should have been, you know, we should have cleaned up by 60 minutes. By 60 minutes, we should have cleaned that game up. Kane could have had a couple, you know. So yeah, man.
I mean, another one as well.
Yeah, definitely. Reggie, man. Reggie squares, or, you know,
Yeah.
Reggie puts that past the keeper, then that's 3. So, you know, we let them back in with a little bit with that silly defensive error at the back, which is annoying, because Tottenham are known for these set piece errors, and somehow, I mean, what do we do to get those errors out? I think it's going to take time and
better quality defenders, probably. You know, just
better quality. Better sort of decision making. And yeah, you're right, man. Sometimes you just get smarter players in, right? Look at Romero's difference. Look at Bentancur. Look at Kulusevski. But you know what? I think a lot of fans are being hard on Spurs, even our own fans. But I see something brewing here, and it's timed perfectly. The cream's rising, and this international break gives us a chance just to reset, maybe level our heads a bit, maybe get the sort of hype out the system, because we don't want to be too hyped, because then we'll do a Spursy. We use these next couple of weeks just to like reset everything. So right, we've had four wins from 6, and we now go and do the same, or maybe 5 wins from 6. And we look at the Liverpool game as maybe the one we can get away with if we lose that. But the next few games, guys, you know, let's be honest, quality, we beat the next few teams in quality. Yeah, Kane, Son, and you know, the rest of the team. On effort is where we lose this top 4 race. On guts, glory, and just, you know, being absolutely up for it. But we've got the main man in world football who motivates you more than any other man in world football. Maybe Klopp's up there, obviously Pep's up there. Antonio Conte, man. Playing for him, man, he motivates. The only thing I was worried about Tottenham is injuries and fatigue. Playing every 3 days non-stop, but now we've got gaps of, I think, 5 days and then 7 days, a lot of these games. So there's no excuses, man, and there are no excuses if we don't make top 4. The only game I'm allowing Spurs to lose is Liverpool. My worry is Aston Villa away. I don't know why. It's kind of weird feeling in my belly about it. I'm not too worried about Newcastle, but the Villa away game, I think they'll be up for it, and they've got some quality in as well. They've got some good players. But the rest of them, bar Villa away and Liverpool, bring it on, man. We can do this, man. It's the best opportunity we've had in what, 3 years, 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So it feels like Leicester again a bit. Like we're on something. We've got something to look forward to. That Leicester season.
Let's hope we bear the fruits of that at the end of the season, because there's still a long way to go. 9 games to go. I think there's still going to be a lot of twists and turns. But hand on heart, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Are we going to get that top 4 coming into the season?
Yes, without injuries. That's the only thing I'm going to say is yes, without injuries, because obviously injuries to a key player, even an injury to someone like Kulu now affects us because he's that important.
Even what
but
about
an injury
like
to
Ben Davis?
100%, bro. Sanchez on the left, not ideal, not ideal, man. You know, Reguilon in there, he's not going to be able to do a job there, no way. So key players, man. But listen, forget West Ham. They're done now. They're done as of yesterday. Man United, Arsenal, Spurs. We've got, alongside Arsenal, the thinner squad. So we need to be injury free, right? Spurs, screw Arsenal. Man United could probably ride a few injuries. They've even got striker options. Well, we've only got obviously Kane. Yeah. But maybe, you know, I don't want to get excited, but you know, mate, he's talking about Scarlett out the blue. Does that mean we're going to see some of Scarlett in soon? You know, I don't know. Is that something? Why would he mention that?
Surprised.
You know,
I know. I'm not sure why he's mentioning it, but I mean, I'd be very surprised if we saw Scarlett from now until the end of the season.
Do you know what I mean? Look, if there's an injury, we're gonna have. Where do we go? Right, we've got to look within. But I don't want. Let's not worry about injuries just yet. All the players look fit. Sonny's just sort of hit his form now. Romero's peaking nicely. I know he had a bit of a shaky game against United, but against the opposition we've got, Romero should be okay. And Romero showed yesterday what he can do against a fairly, you know, good striker in Antonio, like a busy, difficult striker to deal with. So it just feels like everything's coming together, man. I'm trying to stay calm. I'm trying to stay relaxed, and I'm trying to stay quiet because I like it that we're not being talked about the way Arsenal are being talked about. You know, how they kind of got it nailed on. But I just feel like now the press are going to turn their eyes to Spurs. If you watch all the press today, they're all talking about Spurs. And that's what I don't like, because that's what's going to basically maybe hype up the fan base and the players. And then you get that shitty result like a draw where, you know, you would have thought you'd batter them like a Brighton or, you know, one of those lesser teams. So we just need this 2 weeks. I feel like the international break will just allow Conte to calm everyone down and say, guys, you've had your little form, but that's gone now. We've got to do that again now. We've got to do that again. We've got to do that 4 or 5 games, wins. And then it's all over to those guys from across the road. Don't want to spill on your channel. And the psychology aspect of it, we know, right? Arsenal's a young team. They're kind of in deep waters. They've not swam in these waters for a long time, being this close to top 4 now. And a lot of those players in their squad will be looking at each other thinking, can we do this? Man United, Chelsea, Spurs, West Ham, you know, hopefully a level on points when they next play. And they're feeling it in their veins. You know, Conte's come out and said, listen, Mr. Arteta, don't forget what you said, mate, in them fake COVID times when you pulled out and pussied it.
Yeah.
So I can hear someone talking in Rendezvous. But yeah, man, I mean, I just think, mate, West Ham fans, shut your mouths. Your bottle jobs. And that's the main thing I wanted to say, man. It's just West Ham fans. It's off, man.
All right. Big up, Josh.
Damn right.
Big up, Josh. Thanks once again for filling in yesterday on the watch along. And hopefully we'll get to see you again very soon. But big up yourself and we'll see you in a bit.
Wicked, boys. Take care. Keep up the good work, man.
See you, Josh.
Thank you, brother.
See you later.
All right. Super chat here from Bob Spur TV saying, regarding Dybala, it comes down to if Conte wants him, regardless of age, fees, salary, etc. If the board back him properly, Conte gets what Conte wants.
I think Conte's shown enough at this point. I mean, then again, other managers had, but like to really get the trust of of this board. Like, surely, what more can he do? This,
Yeah.
showing how much improvement we're making.
Absolutely. And Ryan Isaacs, Kennard, big up Ryan, says, what a great atmosphere. What a win. Great atmosphere. Conte masterclass. Now we move after the international break. Got to string 4 to 5 wins on the spin. COYS, 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 COYS.
Love
Well,
it.
he's feeling a bit more positive about things now.
Yeah, sounds like it. And who else but Mr. Positivity himself up next?
All right, Mr. KPV.
KPV, my lord, KPV.
Hello, boys.
Carl, you've had a haircut.
Yeah, I have, mate.
Exactly.
How you doing?
Looking fresh.
Yeah, and let me tell you something, brother. That's Hulk Hogan for you. Like, you guys didn't do anything wrong on a channel on Friday. It's accidents. Accidents happen for a reason. Okay? So, don't need to apologize for what
You
was
do
said.
no, Carl. When you do something wrong or something wrong happens, it is important to apologise, even if it is an accident or a mistake, and that's what we've acknowledged.
Like, calm down a bit. Calm down.
But Carl,
No,
anyway,
appreciate
let's talk about the game yesterday. How did you assess that game yesterday? How good was Spurs?
Honestly, unbelievable. Like, we were the better team. Like, West Ham, then, like, the game was brilliant. Like, and we deserved it. Like, we probably should have kept a clean sheet, but I'll happily take a 3-1 win. Like, their record at our new stadium is probably good, but we've now won there, 3 times? Like, after the restart, we won 2-0. That was 2 years ago. I believe in July or June, actually. I'll take June. Yeah. Then we do this stupid thing, 3-0 up, then 3-3, then 2-1, then 3-1. So yeah, we've won there 3 times against these lots. So yeah, unbelievable result. And Bentancur sent Antonio and Lanzini back to where they came from. He sent them packing.
Yeah, definitely. And he played really, really well, didn't he, Bentancur? And obviously Kane and Son now linking up yet again. How many more times are they going to link up now between now and the end of the season?
12, 13, 14. The list goes on. Yeah, like 12 or 13 more. Like, how many games we got left? 9?
9 games, yeah.
Yeah, so 9 more times. Like, so that's 39. So 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45.
Is he frozen?
Oh, Carl?
Is he still there?
Seems like you've frozen, Carl. We'll try to come back to you. Let's get Brandon on in the meantime.
Yes, Brandon, the Italian revolution is finally kicked off at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 4 wins in the last 5 games. How are you feeling, my brother?
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. How are we doing?
All good, man. All good. It was a great day yesterday. Put West Ham in their place. Put ourselves back into the top 4 race. Assess that game for me. What were your thoughts on the game yesterday?
You know, it's Conte ball is really taking place. I mean, it's what people have been saying all morning. Really, it's not what we're used to. It's not Pochettino, but it's his defensive style, right? It's definitely more exciting than Mourinho. So it's not like we should all be sitting here complaining about any non-attacking or counter-attacking football. I can't really put it into words, but something about his tactics just bring excitement, right? Even when we're in control of the game, it never really seems like it's 100% ironclad. And I was, a little nervous when you'd see Ben Rama making those runs forward, or Yarmolenko when he came on. I mean, it's tough. You want to root for someone like Yarmolenko right now, and he's playing your team.
But you got to say, actually, when Yarmolenko came on, the whole of the fan base came together and clapped him on the pitch, which I thought was a beautiful moment.
100%. Yeah, no, I mean, got to support things that are more important in the world sometimes. But, yeah, no, I mean, look, overwhelmingly positive day. overwhelmingly positive past couple of weeks, really. And that's not a word or a sentence that's come out of my mouth in quite some time as a Spurs fan. So I'm happy. I'm very happy. One thing that I'm very, very upset about, though, a few months back when Conte got appointed, I came on and said right off the bat, Reggie is going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of this new manager, and I haven't really seen that yet, and it's kind of starting to worry me, especially since there's a rumor every day or two now that Barcelona or Real Madrid are going to buy him back, and I wonder, like, are we witnessing the last few stutterings of his Tottenham career?
I mean, if we were, Brandon, what would your feelings be on that, seeing as what you just said, that he hasn't been that much of a beneficiary of the Conte system?
I think it all depends who we get. Like, I would love to go and grab Kostic out of Frankfurt. I mean, not only is he an absolute demon on the left, he's got a wand of a left foot. He's got you could put in crosses for days. I mean, he's quite literally top 5 crosser of the ball in the world. I mean, he's nearly on Alexander-Arnold levels. People don't realize this because, people aren't really watching Frankfurt on a daily basis. But he's amazing. And Conte, I'm sure, would love to have him in his system. He can also take a free kick. No more Harry Kane on the ball. I mean, there are upgrades to Reggie out there. Now, is someone like a Kostic 29, 30 years old by the time we got him in? Yeah. But is Conte really going to be here for more than a year or two? Probably not. So if this coming summer, I would love to see the board not do their usual investing in a Pape Sarr, who, by the way, can't really get a game for Metz right now. Is in relegation battle. He's not going to be the answer for next season. But we need to address both wingback areas still, and it's just the need. There's no getting around it. And you see all these Dybala rumors today. People talking about it. They love Dybala. Sure, fantastic. But if signing Dybala means that we can't get a left wing back or a right wing back or another center back, no. It's just Kulu, Son, and Kane. I mean, what? It's fantastic to watch, and I don't see why we need an upgrade on them. They've been brilliant together. Their link up is you look for those combinations, right? You look for that special sauce that you can get from an attacking trident, right? And they seem to have it together. So why fix what it broke?
Exactly. Yeah, and when you're actually looking at that old Pochettino team, what we said about it was there's partnerships all over the pitch, which we haven't seen until now. We're starting to see the nucleus of it with Højbjerg and Bentancur in the middle, obviously Kane and Son and Kulu as well in the mix there. So are we starting to see that now coming back to Spurs with all the little partnerships coming out around all over the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, you can even see it with Dyer and Romero. They're barking at each other like pit bulls every game. And sure, one's got a little bit more quality in his boots, but the other one's got a little more know-how. And hey, sometimes you need that. You need people to complement each other in a back line. Do I think Ben Davies is a long-term answer at left center back? No. Do I think that he's a fantastic squad player that we should keep on our books to the day he retires? 100%. He's an amazing servant of the club. He obviously loves the shirt, but he'll make a nice play here or there. But he's a steady operator back there, and those are the kind of guys you need as a squad member, but not as a week in, week out starter. Who, if for some reason they were to go down with an injury, as I think Josh was just saying, where do we turn? Yeah, that's the worrying part about our top 4 push is that we've got about 4 or 5 positions around the pitch where there's no plan B, none. I mean, do you two really think we've got a excellent chance to top 4 here? Or is this more falsified hope as a Spurs fan?
I think the fixture list, the form that we're in, the players, the forward line that we have, I think definitely puts us in the conversation. But it's just whether this isn't, as you say, it's not. We just got to hope it's not yet another false dawn, And we have to hope that Arsenal start slipping up, which at the moment they're seeming very consistent. But I do think with the fixture list is in our favour. I think the way we're playing at the moment, we're winning 4-0, 5-0, 3-1, 2-0. We're winning by 2 goals or more in the past four out of the past 5 games, so scoring goals. And the defence seems to have tightened up a bit, even though we still look a bit vulnerable. So there's definitely a shot there, but we just got to make sure that the games that the winnable games that we have to make sure we just get over the line. No bottling.
Yeah, I just hope that. When are we going to be playing this Arsenal fixture? I can't have it come soon enough, right? I mean, we need to be that team that puts a massive dent, massive blow into their confidence, and if you save it for the second,
going to be yet.
I know. If you save it for the second or third to last game of the year, I mean, I think that probably plays into their favor. Really, they're in just as hot of form as we are right now.
That's the thing. Do you think Tottenham at their best are the best team in the race at their best when they're playing the best football, or do you think that we still that Arsenal at their best or United at their best are better than Tottenham?
Well, we certainly don't have the highest amount of quality.
But in terms of how we perform, like we got
but in terms
those
of
performances against like City and the 4-0s and 5-0s we've been getting.
I see what you say. I see what you're saying. I think if you ask me that question in 2 or 3 months' time, 100%. But we're still operating under a new regime. I mean, we do have to give it time. Yes, you can see the hints, like yesterday, like Brighton. You can see it's starting to click where even when you're not playing at your absolute top gear, you're still putting in a performance. Everyone's still putting in a shift. They know what they're going to have to do. But you've got an Arsenal, you've got an Arteta who's been there for only 3 years now, 2.5 years, something like that. I mean, they just have their guys more settled in how they want to play, and that's fine because they also still have Lacazette up top. It's a give and take, really. I think it's exciting. As much as I despise the red half of London, I genuinely believe that Arsenal and Tottenham, this rivalry is gearing up to be potentially, once Pep leaves and once Klopp leaves, this could be no longer a top 4 race in a year or two's time. It could be a title race, and that would be brilliant. That would be exciting.
I don't know if I'd be able to handle that, a title race with Arsenal.
Oh man,
I really don't know if I'd be able to handle that because the prize is so big, and then like if you don't win that prize, your direct rivals, your biggest rivals, are winning that prize. I mean, I really would not be able to handle that.
It's risk reward, but hey, I love the gamble like that. It's fantastic. You gotta never conduce gambling, fake gambling, by the way. It's but no. I'm excited that this top 4 race is shaping up to be us versus Arsenal, because you gotta give a little respect to them. Sometimes they've been in the dumps for a while too, and how brilliant would it be to be able to keep them down there by getting that 4th spot? Oh man, it would be the sweetness. It would be like licking a lollipop, a never-ending Tootsie Roll. It'd be fantastic, but it's
love it, 100%.
Yeah.
You could. I mean, I could sit here and give them the respect for how they've been performing over the past couple of months, but I'll decide against that for today, I think.
Yeah, maybe when they stop postponing fixtures because of AFCON.
Exactly.
But yeah, Conte's. Let me tell you, Conte is a character. He's always got a little jib up at him. But yeah, I'm excited for the last month and a half of the season, and what else can you want than to start seeing Conte's regime suffocating Levy's nonsense? It's gonna happen. Let me tell you, he's gonna give them no choice but to back him and give them exactly what he wants. And I know Conte is a smart man. He's not gonna be telling him, "Oh, Paulo Dybala, number 1, give me him." No, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna get a Kostic. He's gonna get a De Vrij, right? We're gonna be looking at a very different squad soon. And even if we don't get top 4, we're starting to see that we at least have some sort of skeleton that can bring us forward into next season and hopefully mount us into something better than we ever could have thought possible. So, you know, I look at this time in our Spurs fandom career as a very exciting time, and hey, all positives here.
Brilliant. Brandon, always great to chat to you, especially after a win as big as it was yesterday. So big up to yourself, and we'll see you next time.
See you, Brandon.
Hey, come on, you Spurs. Have a fantastic rest of your day, fellas.
And to you, mate. And to you. Come on, you Spurs.
Super chat from Jack Doherty. He says, Ben, I have only tweeted during a Spurs game twice since Middlesbrough. Both times Ronaldo and West Ham scored. I swear it's me that's the problem.
So stop bloody tweeting then.
Stop tweeting.
Stop tweeting.
Delete your account, mate. That's the only way.
Delete your account. But maybe you should try that during Arsenal games.
Yeah, maybe.
Exactly. Let's see if it works with them.
There's only one way to find out.
All right. Anyone else?
No, that's it.
All right, we'll finish off. We'll go to him quickly.
Oh, is he there?
All right, let's go to our last caller of the day. Back with a bang, Mr. Carl Patrick Vineyard.
Hey, Carl.
I don't know what happened there. Maybe my phone must have done it by mistake.
No problem, Carl. Just we're going to have to end the show quickly, but just tell us your thoughts on the top 4 race. Are Spurs going to get it? And who are the main threats? Is it Arsenal or Manchester United? What's your thoughts?
I'm going to say this. Yes, we are going to get top 4, and I think it's the scum who are threats to us. But like, we still got to play them at the Champagne Lane or the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as expressions calls it. But yeah, like, and Arteta can keep our name out of his mouth, because grow the hell up, you Spanish prick. Stop moaning. It's not our fault you have to play Wednesday, Saturday. So grow up, act like a proper manager, or go back to where you came from. Shut the fuck up, mate. And you're playing at our house, where you've lost like 3 or 4. This would be 4 times you've lost. So grow the hell up, stop moaning. Top 4 is ours, and fuck off back to Woolwich. North London is ours, and as always, Levy out. Top 4 is ours. So yeah, we're gonna win our next few games. Then we'll beat the scum, and that confirms we finished above them for like the 6th season. So yeah, we're gonna get top 4. You heard it here first, and as always, Levy out. Come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Carl. Big up, Carl.
International break.
And that is the way to end the show. That is the way to end the show. Carl, absolutely top class there. But I think that is it from us today. We'll be back with player ratings, 5 takeaways, and the Premier League perspective as well. So keep an eye out on all the content coming your way today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.